Woohoo! Welcome everybody to Hex Token channel, and of course it's live. We've got lots of stuff to talk about. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I think, I might be covering at least 6 topics, and of course within those topics is probably another 50 topics. So it's going to be pretty outstanding stuff. So welcome everybody. Big shout out to Crypto Heartbeat on at the moment. Apparently he's just decided to extend his show for another hour. So big shout out to him. And, of course, welcome everybody to Hex Token channel. We're going to be going hardcore on all the topics that you love, of course, from Hex, Pulsechain, PulseX, and much more. So hold on to your hats, folks. I've updated a lot of things, timelines, everything else. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. So subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. And, of course, if you want to become a member of the channel, get some cool emojis in the chat. Hit the join button. We've got Pulseskins, Hexskins, and the Richard Hart Club. Those are the 3 members. Memberships, and of course we'll be broadcasting for many years to come. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. So folks, enjoy yourself and get into the chat. We love a vibrant chat, so it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. And it sounds like my audio is up and running. No poll today. We just got so much to talk about, folks, and I really do appreciate your opinions. So get your opinions in the chat as we're moving through these topics. And if you've heard something that we haven't heard, let us know in the chat as well. We always like to get some insights from the community. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go. Let's get into the chat first. And, of course, let's go. We've got Taffrin in the house with the money bags. We've got Dingo Wolf says, let's get it. I love it, Dingo Wolf. The Hodl Generation says, just enjoyed the ride. Hex Token, take it away. Nice one. I will do. And John's in the house. Hex Token, thanks. As always, it's a pleasure. And, of course, it's Sunday here in New Zealand on the at 5 o'clock. So Sunday, 5 o'clock in the evening here. It's still quite sunny, of course, and we're enjoying it as well. And Matt and Bali says, okay, time today. Bloody rain heaps here in Thailand, I guess. Oh, Bali, sorry, I should say. And we're ready for the best live show in the community and love it, Matt. Elliot's in his house as well. Woohoo! Good to see Elliot as well. That's our channel anthem, by the way. The woohoo! That's the channel anthem. And, of course, we're going to keep building that as we go in the future. So nice. All right, so very cool. It looks like we're getting more people coming on to the live stream, so it's going to be good. We're going to have a lot more people join as we go through. But here we are, folks. First topic of the day, and, of course, it's liquid loans, of course. And I just noticed that on Crypto Heartbeat, CC jumped on there, and the CEO of Liquid Loans gave a little update. Certainly very happy with the liquid loans. Now, I've got a few insights in around the liquid loans that people weren't talking about on that channel. And so hopefully it's going to give you some insights into that as well. If you have not thought of it already, hopefully that will be cool. All right, so we've got Morris is in the house. Got hi, guys, from Christchurch. Yes, Morris. Hey, good to see you, Morris from Christchurch. And Tin Top, what's up, Hexicans? Awesome. Hey, so we've got some insights going to be on liquid loans. Hopefully that will be cool. Also got some questions around PulseX that we're going to look at later on. PulseX is going to be the last topic for the live stream, folks, the last topics. And, of course, we've got much more in between that, so let's just get on to it. Here we go. So this is the latest and greatest on liquid loans, a $21.4 million sacrifice so far. Amazing, right? $21,382,143 from 4,500 wallets. Woohoo! This is doing pretty well, man. This is really, really good. And, of course, we've got 2 days and 7 hours and 56 minutes, so 2 days and 8 hours to go until the bond curve starts rising. So remember, there's 3 components. Earlier pays better, bigger pays better, and longer pays better. That's how you get your total points. On top of that, there's the referral bonus. We'll talk about the referrals later on. So there's those 3. And, of course, the first one is earlier pays better, and that is the bonding curve we're talking about. So in 2 days and 7 and 8 hours time, that's going to go up by 5% per day. So it's 30 days long. The first 10 days is 10,000 points per dollar. And then, of course, once we start moving into those final 20 days, it's going to start rising by 5% per day. So you're going to get actually less loan tokens. And remember, that's going to be very important. So cool. That is there at the moment. And, of course, we've got 540 billion loan tokens at the moment. That is the estimated total supply. At the moment, it's going to change dramatically, I imagine, over time. And that's going to be pretty interesting, especially as bigger pays better. That second component comes into play at the end of the sacrifice there. And, of course, referrals as well. So cool. If you have sacrifice for liquid loans, you can paste your address in here, and it will show the details of your sacrifice. So you can paste it in here. I think I've got the link in the video description, but if I haven't, let me post it in the chat here. Bam. And we've got a couple more comments in the chat there. We've got Tin Tams going, woo-hoo-hoo, I love it. And Neil in Birawa made it today, says Neil. Hey, great to see you in the chat there, Neil. And that is the link, of course, to the site. If you want to check your sacrifice, you can check it there at the moment. All right, so at the moment, this is our top 500 sacrifices. At the top, of course, we've got the Hex God Whale. And then, of course, we've seen here the Magic Carpet Ride team. This is a pool of people around the world who have gone together to try and get themselves that bigger pays better multiplier up towards the 2.5 mark, because bigger pays better ranks everybody's USD sacrifice between 1 and 2.5, and we'll know what that result is at the end of the sacrifice, the second component, the biggest pays better. We've seen that the actual Magic Carpet Ride team has increased their sacrifice, and of course I'm expecting their big sacrifice to come in 2 days and 8 hours towards the end of the 10-day period, and to get the best rates. So this is going to balloon. This will balloon past this amount. And so we're looking forward to that. Will they get up to the Hex God Whale? We will see. And if they do, would the Hex God Whale respond? I imagine the Hex God Whale would respond and, of course, get the best multiplier because they play the long game. They want the best results. That would make a lot of sense to me for the bigger plays better multiplier. Number 3, of course, we've got 2 other sacrifices there over $1 million. Big congrats to them. Now, obviously, the Hex God Whale is going to get 226 billion at least at this stage. And, of course, with the bigger pays better, we'll see that play out too. Of course, in the Magic Carpet Ride, 46.3 billion at the moment, but that's going to climb dramatically as they move towards the final day in about 2 days and 8 hours. We should have a good idea. They'll keep sacrificing all the way through, is my guess, or at least a vast majority of the 30-day period of the sacrifice. It's going to be pretty cool. Nice one on there. So that is the top 4 there. And of course, we've got the number 5 there's 575,000 US dollars. They got 10 billion loan tokens there. Now, not all of these are coming out straight away. Some of them are going to come out instantly. Some of them are going to be coming out in 2 years' time with the max longer pays better bonus. That's the number 3 bonus. So we'll see that play out as well. Some people have got a mixture. So they've got delayed stuff every month, and they get extra 6% every time they delay each month, and that gets added up. So that's another thing there. Let's have a look at the 50th wallet. We're going to jump over to the top 500, and let's see what this is. Oh my gosh, it's jumped so big now, folks. It started off at like what was it, $1,000, then it jumped to 1,200, then 1,800, then 2,200. I think yesterday it was 2,800. Now it's $4,000 to get in the top 500. It really is jumping up there to get in the top 500. So $4,000 would get you, based on this person, is going to get 94 million loan tokens. So let's have a look at their breakdown. I'm going to click the eye there. We can see that they've got 12 cents and 24 cents. So 12 cents represents that they're going to be delaying their loan tokens. They won't receive them until 12 months in advance. So they'll get 72% bonus for longer pays better. And of course, we've got this other one here that they've sacrificed 24 months. So that means they're going to get the max 250% bonus on this one. So cool. So you can see 72% and the max 1.5, that's 150% bonus on longer pays better. That's their longer pays better points. This is their base rate, their base points here. 10,000 is the rate they're going to get. So they're going to get this amount times this here. So they're going to get 20 million and another 20 million. Plus they're going to get these bonus points as well. And then they're going to get ranked. Also, the bigger pays better. They'll get that later on. So we'll see where they're ranked for that at the end of the sacrifice. Very, very cool. So really neat. That is where they're at the moment. $4,000 now to get in the top 500. Pretty cool. And let's go have a look at the sacrifice US dollar volume timeline. We are tracking it up pretty nicely. And of course, look at that. We've got, let me just mute my studio over here. We got the total. Actually, you can see the totals just ramping up here. And of course, you can see where we're at the moment, 21.4, almost $21.5 million there on this one. I'm not sure if that's updated as close as that one is. Let's just refresh that as we go. 21,382, 21,407. So that's definitely gone up. Nice. That's going up as we're speaking. That's pretty cool. And of course, we're rising here. This is the total tracking as we go. So we started off day 1, February the 19th, and we were at 2.7 million. Man, we've been jumping all the way to the 22nd of February. That was 5 days later, and we were at 9.6. Then we had the Hex God Whale jump us up until here. We jumped all the way up to 17.19. Hex Whale's done about 6 million in sacrifice. Amazing. And of course, we're just climbing up here as well. Be interesting to see whether Overwatch decides to do any sacrifice. They're definitely not too keen on some of the Pulse projects, but we'll see whether Overwatch does decide to make an exception for liquid loans. They certainly don't like a lot of the other projects that seem, particularly the politics and drama that's been going on between some projects. So we don't expect Overwatch to do that, but we'll check that out a bit later in the live stream. And of course, that's where we're at the moment. So tracking this is a huge success for liquid loans, and it bodes well for everybody that's sacrificed as well. With the amount of economic energy. Remember, we'll talk about how you get loans tokens later, but by getting the bulk of the loan tokens straight away, when you do get them, you'll be able to, stake those pretty much and earn all the fees off the platform. And so earlier kind of is better for that. But we're going to talk about some insights into that very shortly, which I'm sure you're going to think, oh, yeah, right. Okay. Maybe I didn't think of that one exactly. You probably would have, but because we're focusing on certain things, people might have got distracted. So cool. At the moment, of course, we're up here. This is a breakdown between the chains. Ethereum chain is at 19.3 million and the Binance Smart Chain at 2.1 million. That's a breakdown of those. We've got the sacrifice US dollar volume per delayed gratification month. So this is the third component, longer pays better. Remember, we didn't have that aspect or that feature in the PulseX or Pulsechain. So this is a brand new feature, and it's kind of borrowing from the Hex delayed gratification. And I think it's kind of worked out very successful if you think about it. It's actually been a very success, and you can see that in the chart here. Look how successful that is. It is a beautiful allocation, in my point of view. And what's most interesting is that so many people are delaying the gratification is going to get that 150% bonus or that 2.5x. And of course, that's over $10 million today. It's just over 10 million. So people are not going to get their local tokens for 24 months. They can't stake those, remember, because they don't have them. They're probably going to get them immediately, as I understand it, but they'll be stuck in a smart contract and then they'll be vested or dripped to the person as they come due with the bonus in hand. So that's a delay, $10 million delay for 24. That's incredible. That is, about 2/5? Was it 2/5? Yeah, 2/5 of or 40% of the total amount. That's pretty impressive. We compare that 10 million to people that want it straight away, 7.6 million. So very, very different. That's a beating out by 25% or so on this one here. That's a pretty amazing. And we've got a pretty good, nice distribution between all this period as well. I guess this is 12. Yeah, that 12 months. So that middle candle is the 12-month delay. Remember, when you sacrifice, you do have the amount of cents that you put in your sacrifice amount that determines how long you want to delay. Of course, 1 cent is 1 month, 12 cents is 12 months, 24 cents is 24 months. So everybody that delays here gets the first one gets 6%. This candle, this one here gets 12%, 18%, 24%, etc. So just add 6% off for every month that you delay for that longer pays better. The last month's different though. The last month you get 12% for that particular month, and so that adds up on top of everything else and ends up getting you 150%. So that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. Otherwise you get 138%, then you get the 12% on top of that for the final month. That's 150%. So pretty amazing. I think this has been a very big success, and it'll be interesting to see whether other projects decide to use this delayed sacrifice thing. So just like in Hex, we have staking ladders. And liquid loan sacrifice, you can do a sacrifice ladder. Instead of a staking ladder, you do a sacrifice ladder, and you could have loan tokens coming to you every month, getting the bonus over time. So you sort of average it out rather than going all in on the end. You can average that out coming up. So you get part of the bonus, and it's kind of cool like that. And as soon as you get them, of course, you can put them in the platform or you can sell them, whatever you want to do. So pretty cool on that. So that's pretty nice. Number of wallets, of course. We've got the Hex Godwell at the top here. We've got the Magic Cup Ride and 2 other wallets in here at the 2.5 million mark or lower. And of course, then we've got all these other wallets coming here. This big candle, of course, is 922 wallets below 2,500. So it gives you an idea if you've sacrificed, gives you an idea where you will sit amongst the order here. And of course, let's have a look at 10,000. So we've got 58 wallets under 10,000 and 158 wallets under 25,000. So these are fairly decent size investments in this area. I would say anything over like 5K is pretty decent, particularly when you're taking, risk return trade-offs. So that's pretty cool. So some nice stuff in there. Lots of little sacrifices in here. And of course, if the token does very well, these people will do very well as well. Here's a new chart that's in here. So cool. It's got the token shares. And of course, just by wallets here, it shows you how much of the supply they've got by loan token. Obviously, the Hex God Wow here has got 42% of the supply at the moment. So take that into account. That is, and then here's the Magic Carpet Ride team, 8.57%. But these numbers will change as we go through the sacrifice period. But obviously, the big ones certainly dominating there. All right, so let's have a look through the sacrifice point rate. So this is the first component, earlier pays better. And of course, these are two different ways of looking at the same thing. This is the sacrifice point. So it's going to cost you more dollars to get you 10,000 points. So here we are on day 8. And of course, we've got 2 more days until it starts rising. Now, the last day is the 28th of February. It starts rising by 5% on the 1st of March and then keeps climbing up to the right there. By the end, of course, the end of the 30 days, the 20th of March, $1 will get you 3,768 loan points or loan tokens. So 3,768. So way better doing it now. Obviously, you're going to do way better. It's going to cost you, almost over 2.5x higher later on. So you're going to get way less there. The other way of looking at it, of course, is that your amount per 10,000 points per dollar is going to decrease all the way until you get to day 30. And once again, you get 3,768 points per dollar. So it's pretty cool on that. So remember, there's 3 components. Earlier pays better, bigger pays better. Of course, you won't find that out to the end of the sacrifice. And number 3, longer pays better. And of course, that can get up to 2.5x multiply on that. So pretty nice. That's the results, folks, for the moment for PulseX, for liquid loans, I should say. I've got so used to saying PulseX, I always say it all the time. But liquid loans, that is the sacrifice. Pretty nice on that. So cool. Let's jump over to liquid loans as well. This is what people are sacrificing for. This is the ecosystem. Obviously, there's a working copy on the Ethereum chain, the original project called Liquidity. And of course, that's done pretty well. And of course, that's still in the face of the fact that they've had to deal with high gas fees, which has hampered the ultimate performance or the optimal performance of that project. And of course, that this is going to work super well on Pulsechain. Pulsechain is going to be new, super fast, super cheap. You won't have any of the those barriers or those impediments through the fees and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty awesome. Obviously, if Pulsechain does well, liquid loans should do well as well. And of course, as the price of Pulsechain goes up, the value of the loan should go up also. That are going to go through this chain, increasing the fees. That means if you've got loan tokens staked, you should be doing pretty well. So this is the basic idea of the product. You put Pulse in there. You basically then have to sell it. So that's good for the Pulse price. It takes Pulse off the market. And of course, then it goes to the vault. And of course, you don't have to use this. This is optional, but people will use it to borrow because basically they're borrowing against their own asset. And of course, you get USDL, which is a stable coin, a decentralized algorithmic stable coin based on PLS as the asset. And so it will basically be overbacked and back more than 1-to-1. And of course, you'll be able to claim back USDL for $1 worth of Pulse. So if Pulse goes up and down, whatever that $1 worth, you'll get back in Pulse. And of course, you can take the USDL. You can either spend it, buy more Pulse, buy more Hex, buy more PulseX, or you can just leave it there and have it in your wallet as Pulse USDL stablecoin. Or you can decide to put in the stability pool, which probably makes a little bit more sense because at least you're going to earn off that. You'll get some PLS, and then you'll also get some loan tokens. So not only the sacrifice, you're going to get loan tokens that way. You will be able to get loan tokens through the stability pool, putting your stable coins in there. And then, of course, you will then be able to take your loan tokens, put it in the loan staking. And of course, everybody doing a sacrifice now will be able to take their loan tokens when they get them, either instantly or over the drip to them over the 24 months. And of course, you will then be able to get USDL rewards and PLS as well from the platform fees. So pretty amazing. You can spend that or reinvest it. All sorts of options you can do there. So that's basically how it works. Let's have a quick look at the rewards. A lot of people ask about what the APRs are. Now, obviously, no one knows the ultimate APR, but this is kind of the guide that Liquid Loans is given about generating passive income on that platform. So this is the platform. And of course, this is some of the indicative yield potential. It could do way better, could do worse. So you just got to take that into account. There are 2 ways to generate passive income inside the Liquid Loans protocol: by taking part in the stability pool and by taking part in the staking pool. So we can see the stability pool is this one. That's where you put USDL tokens. And of course, the loan staking is where you put your loan tokens there. So that's that. Take a look at both and see how they differ and the potential rewards of offer. So they've got different rewards. Providing stability. When you add your USDL, a native liquid loan stablecoin, to the stability pool, you are helping to provide solvency to the system. And of course, in return, the system rewards you daily in the form of loan tokens, proportional to your size and the stability pool. Obviously, if you've got $10 and there's $1,000 in there, you'll get that 1% worth of the rewards. And PLS will whenever liquidations occur. So you get PLS payments if people get liquidated in the pool there. So if they're in the vault and they get liquidated with their PLS because the value of the PLS goes down, the collateral gets less than 150 and they get called, then 110%, I should say, and they get called. Or if they're a part of a system-wide collection of 150%, then they'll get called as well. Those will go to the people that've got the USDL and the stability pool. They'll get those fees. And of course, the estimate these guys have given, there's just an estimate, but the possible returns for taking part in the stability pool are known to be approximately 10 to 30% APR. I guess that's probably taken from liquidity on Ethereum because they've got some real numbers there. Gives you an idea of how that's working. However, I do feel that this is going to be even more successful on Pulsechain because it won't have a lot of the issues around ETH fees and things like that on liquidity there. So there we are, 10 to 30% is kind of what you might be able to expect there. And I think that's kind of nice and conservative, and it gives you a good range there as well. On top of that, of course, this is additive. Of course, you're going to get the loan token there, and you got staking your loan token in the staking pool is a big help to the system, as a staking pool provides the necessary incentive tokens that make stability providing attractive. In return for staking your loan token, of course, this is what everybody's sacrificing for. Up front, the system rewards you daily in the form of USDL, so you'll get stable coins. Isn't that going to be cool? You'll be help get your loan tokens from the sacrifice, be able to stake them and get USDL tokens as rewards proportional to your size of the pool. Obviously, there's going to be lots of different players, but remember this, that the Hex Godwell and quite a bit of the Magic Carpet Ride stuff is actually staked quite long. So a lot of the stuff is staked quite long, which means it's going to be quite good. Your proportion will be even better off because they won't be able to stake these loan tokens until the end. And of course, the Hex Godwell, who we saw controls something like 42% or whatever of the loan tokens at this stage, is not getting it all until the end. They're not getting it until 2 years' time. So that's pretty cool for you as well. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing to highlight there. And of course, the possible returns. So you get PLS from redemptions, and of course, the fees from the system. You know, half percent to 5% when you take the USDL out. So cool for that. And the other thing is that they give a general indicator here, APR. Possible returns for taking part in the staking pool are known to be approximately 20 to 40% APR. So you can get both of those as well, right? So that makes a cool thing. But if you're just doing loan, of course, you can just use that feature as kind of the indicator here. And I think that this it'll probably do very, very well. Probably a lot better there as well. So cool. That is pretty much that, folks. I thought that was pretty cool. A lot of people ask questions about what the APR is. It gives you kind of a conservative estimate, and I think that works pretty well. Now, I wanted to talk about the fact that we've got the, if we go here, if you're wanting to participate in the sacrifice, I know there's a lot of people that have been very interested in liquid loans. It is obviously super successful, and people like to, to get into the successful projects. And of course, you see that it's going to be pretty much a high bearing. If everything goes well with Pulsechain, it's going to be a high bearing a token. You get good interest out of it, as we just showed you. Then you can sacrifice. You can also get a 5% referral bonus, of course, and you can feel free to use my link in the video description for that. But you must register your wallet with that referral code to get that to qualify. So this is the step that you do. I have posted a video in the video description below my referral link to get that 5% bonus. It shows you how to do it, but we're going to do it live as well. So you just hit the referral button here, click that, go, I understand. This is the referral page. You can read everything on here. You should always read everything and never rush into something. And you can see all the benefits there. Basically, you get 5% for using referral, and that's based on the total points. So earlier pays better, bigger pays better, and longer pays better. But you won't know what that 5% is on your total sacrifice points until the end of the sacrifice period in 30 days. So you can see that here. So let's go on here. As a referee, this is a person. So this is a person that uses a referral link. So if you use my referral link, this is what you'll get. You'll earn 5% of your own sacrifice points when using someone else's link. When you use a referral link to join the program, so you must join the program. That's what I'm talking about. you as a referee will receive a 5% bonus for your own sacrifice points. This is a little different from a way of a lot of referrals link, where they use just as plain cookies. You do need to register your wallet. So that's what you have to do there. So cool. You've got some cool examples there. And of course, you can hit the join button there. So there's two, one at the bottom and one in the middle. You can click either of these, click the join button, and then you can participate in the referral program. Click I understand. This will give you your 5% bonus. Plus, if you want to, you can go out and spread the word about liquid loans and get yourself 5% bonus on top of that as well by getting people to participate. You can hit the button there to register your wallet. There's going to be a sign ticket opens up a MetaMask or notification. You just click the sign. It's going to associate your wallet address that you're going to use to sacrifice with the referral link there. It's going to give you a unique referral link there. And of course, if you do get some referrals because you spread it around amongst your friends and family and other people, then this will go up or show you how many friends you've joined as well. So that's your referral link. And once you've done that, of course, your address is connected to the referral. Now, when you sacrifice, you must do a minimum of $500. So it's very important to make your referral qualify. So if you want to get that 5% bonus on your total points, earlier pays better, bigger pays better, longer pays better, then you need to make sure that that's registered. Basically, you've registered. You don't actually have to share your referral out. You do need to register to get that 5% bonus. Then you can jump over to the sacrifice page, which is here. Click the sacrifice page, and that will open up the official sacrifice, which is the sacrifice.io page. You can see all the details. There's two blockchains, Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. Those are the two chains you can sacrifice from. It must be stable coins. Some people have sent Ethereum and Hex. Do not send Ethereum or Hex. It's just stable coins, USDC, USD Tether, TrueUSD, DAI, etc. You can use that. And of course, you must sacrifice from your wallet that you hold the private keys to, and not from the exchange. So where your wallet should be the one with the referral that you use for the referral link to register, so that you get that 5% bonus. That's very important. So here are the three ways, of course. Earlier pays better. You get 10,000 points for every dollar. That's going to be true until the 28th of February. After that's going to go up by 5%. So you want to get in the next 2 days, 2 days or so. So it's important. Bigger pays better. Of course, it's between 1x and 2.5x based on the US dollars sacrificed compared to everybody else. We won't know that until the end of the sacrifice phase. So that's going to be later on. And of course, number 3 is longer pays better. And that's where you can get up to 2.5x bonus by delaying your sacrifice. Now, you can sacrifice different amounts at different periods of time. So you can, but you must, make that very clear. So you can have a sacrifice letter by just saying sacrificing $500 for month 1, $500 for month number 12, $500 for month number 24. You get a different bonuses on each day, but the total adds up to your total sacrifice. Now, obviously, the sacrifice is running over 30 days. But the most important for to get the earlier pays better is coming up. Now, when you do sacrifice for the longer pays better to try and get that big bonus of 150%, you do need to put in the right cents. So when you sacrifice, if you're doing, say, $1,000, in this example, it's 10,000. So we'll just use this one. If you're doing 10,000, you'd go 10,000 and 00 if you want the tokens immediately. And if you do get them immediately, obviously you can go to the platform and you can stake them in the loan staking there and start earning USDL and PLS. So you can start that straight away. But if you're delaying that, say 24 months, you want to get the full longer pays better bonus on loans, you need to do 24 months. If you want to do 1 month, you need to do 1 cent, 2 months, 2 cents, etc. The amount of cents that you put in your sacrifice that you send to the wallet is how long you're going to be waiting for your loan tokens. If you do over 24 cents, then it's going to default to 00. In other words, it's going to pretend that you want the tokens instantly. So just remember that. There's the explanations there. You can do multiple sacrifices, of course. You can do sacrifice ladders on different days, all sorts of stuff like that. You are sacrificing for a decentralized token coins, stable coins, I should say. So you are doing a political sacrifice for a political cause. And then finally, once you're ready, of course, you can send your stable coins either on Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain to this official address here, OX29, and of course ends in 948C9. So this is the official address. Basically, what you have to do is send the crypto to this address and with the right cents. Remember, if you got 1 cent, 2 cents, that says you're going to delay it all the way out there. So be careful with that one for sure. And of course, that's how easy it is. Once you do that, it's going to register your transfer on the blockchain as the transaction ID, so they'll know that you sacrificed it. So it's pretty cool. And of course, you registered for the referral program. You're going to get your 5% bonus on the total amount of sacrifice points. Earlier pays bigger pays better, longer pays better at the end of the sacrifice period where they add it all up. So cool. Now there's a video there that validates the correct address here, so you can watch that with the CEO CC on there. So cool. That is it, folks, for that. And once again, I wanted to point out the fact that there's a trade-off, right? So if you do longer pays better and you want to do 24 months, there you're going to get 150% more, or 2.5x times of the points. But you don't have those points, you don't have those loan tokens until 24 months from the future. So obviously, if the loan price pushes up, you're going to get a 2.5x volume as well. So your volume times your price is going to be awesome. But of course, if you get the tokens straight away or somewhere before 12 months, maybe in 6 months' time or whatever, you will then be able to stake them in the loan staking here and start earning USDL and PLS straight away. So you're not waiting for that. So you've got to kind of weigh up those two benefits, the volume bonus for 24 months delayed or 12 months delayed, or whatever delayed that you want, versus getting those tokens instantly and putting them in the loan staking and getting the rewards. Now, remember, Pulsechain, so the positive is you get 2.5x in the volume of loan. But remember that Pulsechain at the beginning is going to have, arguably it's going to have some volatility, but should, if everything plays out, should go up and to the right pretty steeply, right? I think we can all think of that. We've got the bridge opening up, hundreds of thousands of yield farmers, potentially millions of people coming over the chain within, let's just say, within 12 to 18 months. Let's say something like that, right? So you got this massive ramp up, and of course that looks pretty powerful, right? So you could make a lot of people will come in and use this facility. This is what we're arguing, right? So these are all assumptions that will come in and use the vault, get lots of loans, and of course the fees will follow through into the loan staking there. You could even get liquidations, of course, if you're in stability pool, but you could get lots of fees, USDL and PLS. So that might actually outdo possibly the USDL and the PLS might instead of doing 20-40% as we showed here, instead of doing 20, you might actually outdo the volumes because you remember doing 6% per month. So pretty crazy. The other side, of course, is that because you're getting PLS, if PLS goes up and to the right and does something amazing like Ethereum did with the 1,000x, 10,000, 16,000x or something, something really huge, then that price of getting your PLS may outdo the 2.5x on the loan tokens 24 months. So I just want to weigh that up. It's really going to be interesting to see which one plays out. But of course, that PLS is going to be pretty valuable as well. Low token is going to do very well and will do a very good price. But of course, we'll put PLS to let's say will PLS do 1,000x and loan token do 100x. Will PLS do a 10,000x and loan token do a 1,000x, something like that, or 500x? This is the difference in things. So we don't know, but it's some interesting thoughts. I just thought I'd pull that out. There's definitely some, it's an empirical question in some ways, but there's also, if you think that Pulse is the ultimate, then, maybe getting some shorter benefits. Of course, you could do delayed for 3 months, get 18% bonus, and the longer pays better. You could have stuff coming like that. And so you could get a mixture between two worlds. So you got loan tokens coming out every couple of months, and you can stake those and get the PLS and USDL, especially after a month, because obviously Pulsechain is going to launch, and then a month later, approximately, liquid loans will launch. So if we're still waiting, let's say we're waiting a month till Pulsechain launches, it's another month after that, 2 months. If we're waiting 2 months for Pulsechain, it's another month after that, it's 3 months until Pulsechain, till liquid loans will actually be ready to launch. Two reasons: because they've got the audits to finish. Even though it's a fork of liquidity, they've got to have some audits just for the changes that they've made to make it, to update it with their tokenomics and stuff. But number two is that they need price feeds from Pulsechain, and they need backstops for that too. Because once the contract goes live, it's immutable. They can't change it, so they need really solid price feeds in there, and they need redundancy as well in case something happens to the price feed. They need to have that all up. So there's definitely those are fundamental importance. And of course, the delay is at least a month. But by that time, after a month of Pulsechain, we should have a more stable price. So that's pretty interesting as well. Now, obviously, the other thing, of course, to point out is that with the longer pays better, we will have the way of offsetting. Sorry, the earlier pays better. Once it does start getting up high here, the only way to offset the 5% increase in earlier pays better getting more expensive is to use the longer pays better, because you get 6% per month on the longer pays better. The way to offset the 5% per day is to do a longer pays better, so stake out a bit longer if for that, of course. But, there's a middle ground, of course, is doing a sacrifice ladder. It's called middle ground. You've got to put the cents, make sure your cents is correct. And, of course, we've seen the Magic Carpet Ride team. They have different wallets. They have a wallet for instantly, so they've got 0 cents when they sacrifice. They have a wallet for 6 months. They've got 0.6 cents. They have a wallet for sacrifice for 12 months, 12 cents, and 18 months, and 24. That's the way they're organizing, because they've got so many people that want to jump into the Magic Carpet Ride team pool to try and get that top whale sacrifice. Now, they probably got a little surprised by the Hex God whale sacrificing. As we saw here, the Hex God whale came in and sacrificed. They probably got a little bit surprised by that, because that's changed the bigger pays better bonus dramatically, right? So dramatically, we can see that with this donut chart here, where the 42% of the supply is now with the Hex Godwell, but that's not coming out for 24 months. So that gives you 2 years to stake your loan tokens in the actual platform and earn some nice USDL and PLS, particularly in the beginning. So it's going to be fascinating, folks. I really think this is exciting, and I do think it fits in pretty well. Remember, this we're going to look at this later in the live stream when we get the Pulsechain and Pulsechain timeline, but I think this is looking really, really good, folks. Woo-hoo! So, folks, if you want to get a 5% bonus, hit the video description. The top link there is how to do that. Also, underneath there's a video on how to register your referral link. You don't actually have to use a referral link, but you need to register it to get the 5% bonus. So with your wallet. So cool. So get your referral link and then go to the sacrifice. Read it in depth. Make sure you understand it and then do it as well. You are sacrificing for a political statement as at the end of the day too. All right, cool. That was the first topic. Man, liquid loans. I did a bit more than I was going to do, but it's, there's so much good stuff there to think about as we go for as well. And don't forget, if no one sacrifices for this and people come and get loans, it's going to be good for PulseX. The people are going to get the loans, USDL, and they're going to go and buy more PulseX. It really is fantastic. So we have liquid loans pumping the bags of Richard Hart's projects. We have Richard Hart's magical buy and burns and the feed burns pumping Richard Hart's projects. We have the total supply of Pulse and PulseX at the beginning just going to be going down. It really is awesome stuff. And of course, we've got staking galore. So this is a rich ecosystem full of incentives. It's going to be mad crazy. So let's get into some of the comments. Let's see what you think about that as we go. And let me just jump into some of the comments here. I'm not sure where I ended up, so let me catch up here. TexHex says, can I get a wrench? We've got another one. We're going to have so many people with wrenches. I'm not sure we have many people without wrenches. Let's have a go on there. And yeah, TexRex. We'll see. Maybe TexRex. Maybe soon TexRex. We'll have to see how it goes. Hexy Caltoon says, disappointed to see Hex Token promoting this as well. So I don't know. It's not worth being disappointed, because this is going to pump the bags of Pulse and PulseX. So I think you probably should just reassess what you think of liquid loans, because I think it's going to be pretty good. Hexy Caltoon. TexHex and the Hex Godwell agrees as well. So just remember that. I'd probably really think about that one. Because as you know, on this channel, I only talk about things that are going to work very well for the system. Keep away from the what I call the risk of very speculative projects on other stuff there. So you won't see me talking about a lot of projects that other people are talking about. So just think about that very closely. TexHex says, I put you in my top 8 on my space, says TexHex. I appreciate that. Big shout out. And Fat Sam says, yo. And hey, Super Zapper's in the house. So only one whale sacrifice so far. Are you sacrificing for liquid loans? Your opinion on liquid loans? Well, I just gave you my full opinion, and yes, I have sacrificed. Matt and Barley says, sorry, I haven't been out on time for many days and wasn't following liquid loans. If we hold the token, what are our benefits? It's a token price increase or more rewards from giving liquidity or so. Yeah, so there we are. I've gone through all those. So I'm just catching up with the comments. I have answered all those during my update there on on liquid loans. What else we got going there? Good to see Matt as always, of course. And Dinger Wolf says, in response to Hexy, RH wants projects on Pulse for it to be successful, all about adoption. Yeah, this is the other thing. Yeah, Richard Hart is building an ecosystem. I'm going to talk about this later in the live stream, but he's building an ecosystem. And of course, you need projects on it, but you need quality projects. So it's not just about having any projects, but having quality projects. And Liquid Loans is the ultimate of that, in my opinion. Because it is basically like a bank or a lending facility where you borrow 0% against your own asset, and then you can buy. You don't have to sell your Pulse, and then you can go and buy more Pulse, more PulseX, and more Hex, and get those prices moving up even faster. It is the holy grail. It really is a great product for the platform of Pulse. Fat Sammy says, I spent my night trying to pull some Monero fanboys into the Pulse chain. It's slowly working. Hey, well done, Fat Sammy. That's the great thing. Get out there and spread the word. This is the biggest airdrop in crypto history on Pulsechain, and it's going to be a lot of great projects like Liquid Loans to be able to get involved in. And of course, get out there to all the projects because they're going to get the biggest airdrop in crypto history. And of course, with the PulseX, it's going to be so good with the fundamentals there as well. Yeah, that's not true there, Hexy Kajun. We know who the Hex Godwell is. And Matt and Bali says, just shared this live video link on PulseX Telegram group. Hey, Matt, appreciate that. Big shout out to Matt. Woohoo! And we got Matt and Bali says, Neil and Barrera getting smashed with the rain here up north. And you, the nice one there. Liquid is the thing. And we've already talked about liquidity one. Love you still, Hex Token. Hey, you're welcome, Hexy Kajun. We appreciate all opinions, but I will respond to everybody's opinions as best I can. Dingo Wolf says you're trolling. You retweeted Gerardo saying I'm forking OpenSea. Yeah, so I'm not talking about Gerardo's OpenSea because I've already said that to you guys that I wish Gerardo the best with that project. And NFTs are huge on blockchain. We all know that. And of course, OpenSea is the biggest of the NFTs, not just on Ethereum, but on Polygon Matic. But the thing is, and there's lots of platforms, competitors coming into that space. But the thing is that that's highly speculative, right? So if the market goes into a full bear market, we're at half bear market at the moment, it goes full bear, NFTs will dive. They'll get wiped out. So I'm not going to be promoting NFTs as much as I like Gerardo and Gerardo's channel and all he does, and with the charting and everything else like that. There is a speculative commercial enterprise, and I wish anybody that goes into it all the best. But I won't be promoting it on this channel because it's highly speculative. So this is more like a banking system, lending. It fits in perfectly Richard Hart stuff. And so it's a very different thing for me to talk about. I've made that clear a couple of times. Sometimes you may not have seen it because you just jump on and you don't know the context behind that. Cool. Let's have a look here. We got Dingle says no similar. And what else we got going? Dingle says nice profile picture. Yeah, I love the profile picture. Pretty awesome, eh? And I think I'm not sure what you're talking about, but hopefully it's the one I'm talking about. Hex says, let me just jump through some of this stuff. Because Sandy Beach is in the house. Hey, Sandy Beach. Woo! Sandy Beach in the house. Hello, everybody. And got to see Sandy Beach in there for sure. What else we got here? Hexy says, sacrifice for nothing except for PLS and PulseX. Absolutely fantastic. And once again, these things are optional. We're all Richard Hart maxis here on this channel. And obviously, this is the Hex Token channel, so that's what we're maxi. But if there's some good projects out there that are going to add value, we're going to talk about those for sure. Dingo Wolf says, okay, all good, says Dingo Wolf. And nothing wrong with that, absolutely. Fat Sammy says, all good in the hood. Yeah, absolutely. Hit the like button, smash the like button. Subscribe, of course, if you're new to the channel. Hit the bell and share if you can. It's going to be very cool. We're going to be obviously doing so much content's coming up. It's just going to ramp up. People have no idea. Once that Pulse chain launches, the bridge opens up, everything's in place, and it's all going to drop at once. It's going to be a madhouse in this place. It's going to be absolutely awesome. And of course, a crypto domination, world domination is going to be happening, and a lot of people are going to be taken off guard by that. It's going to be so good with that. Spank the like button, says Dingo Wolf. Absolutely. We've got the thumbs up there for sure. Lots of hearts up there. Nice one. What else are we going to jump forward here? We've got Fat Sammy says bullish divergence on the MACD daily Hex chart alongside hidden bullish divergence on the RSI. Nice comment there, question mark as well, but nice comment. Neil Barrera says Matt and Bali, sunny airs at the moment. Please keep the rain up north. So apparently it's raining a little bit there in Bali. What else we got? BJM says those PLX screenshots Richard Hart released the other day, so that the holders of incentive token will mint PLX I thought PLX was not deflationary. Have another look and reread what it says. The screenshot. BJM. Woohoo! We're going to be talking about that in the live stream. It's coming up later. That's the last topic for today, is the topic you just raised, BJM. We will get there on the PulseX, and it's going to be pretty interesting. We've got some probably got some more questions than we got answers from those slides. We will talk about that, BJM. Human Hex Traffic's in the house. What's up, family? And nice. And what won the last 5 for 5 to it? Yeah, nice. And what else we got? If I trade something for Hedron, where do I store my Hedron at? And of course, if I trade something for Hedron, where do I store my Hedron at? So you can put the Hedron in the wallet. Now the other thing, I think there is some new features opening up later. I understand it, and of course, you can actually trade your Hedron as well. So you can trade it for Hex or USDC. We're going to talk about Hedron soon. That's coming up as well. Sandy Beach says thanks. You're welcome there. And what else? We're almost up to date there. Matt's got the sunny face, the happy face. I'm not sure. And of course, yes, I'm a girl, says Sandy Beach. Nice one. Appreciate Sandy Beach in the house. All right, so we've talked about liquid loans. There we go, folks. And we're going to jump over to Hex now. Hex price. Here we go. And awesome. Let's get rid of the chart structure there. And man, we'll look at this chart at the moment. I think it's warming up for the takeoff. I said in a daily video earlier today, get ready for takeoff. I really think that Hex is going to get there. And of course, at the moment, we've got the Bollinger Bands here is at the bottom. So let me just pull this up so you can scale this. You can see the top there. We've got the bottom blue line is the bottom 5% of the price range. The top blue line is the top 95% of the top price range, I should say. And the red one is the 50% mark. So we have bounced off the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. The current price at the bottom there is 12.75 cents. We're currently at 15 cents. And of course, we've had two nice good green candles there bouncing off. The Ukraine risk-off pullback. Remember I said to you there's Hart's Law, and Hart's Law protects us quite reasonably from the ETH price and the Bitcoin price because of the connecting and the liquidity pools. 85% of Hex is in USDC pairs. But above that rule is a bigger rule, and that's the risk-off rule, and that's the ultimate. When there's a big geopolitical risk or a big financial crisis issues or something like that, and that is the risk-off. In other words, people take their money out of the markets. And because markets are based on the marginal price, that is pretty much the last price that someone's willing to pay for something, the liquidity disappears, everything goes off. It's a bit like having a full stadium, then something really bad happens that affects a lot of people or that people perceive is a big deal, and everybody leaves the stadium. And so there's no one there to buy stuff, right? That's pretty much it. So it really does impact the price there. And then not only does people leave, but they sell down their stuff as they're gone. They sell the stuff down, and you want the stadium to full back up again to get people back. So that's kind of when we see this big green candles come back. It's pretty much like the football stadium filling up again, and people starting to come in and go, I'll buy a ticket for that. I'll buy a ticket for that. And so the price comes back there. And so we in crypto, of course, we have some issue, things like confidence. We need confidence. Confidence brings us momentum. Momentum brings us the big price pumps. Right, that's what happens. And of course, up and to the right, we get the cycles up and to the right as we go. And so there we are. There's a bit of bebop in there as we go up with the price chart there. So cool. At today, of course, the high of today was 17.8 cents. That was a bot trade about 10 hours ago. But to get us to that peak there, we did top off at about 16.2 cents with real trade. And of course, at the moment, we're at 15 cents at the bottom there at the moment. So obviously, the market had a nice little run up, having a little breather now. Of course, we can see that too. But we have bounced off the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. That's really cool. And of course, hopefully in the next day too, we head up towards the middle. The middle is at 18 cents. And of course, the top of it is at 23.4 cents at the moment. So let's add back on our structure into the chart there. We're going to pull that all back. We're in this big triangle here. And we bounced off our support here of 12.6 cents. On the log scale, that is at 13.5. In fact, I should pull up the log chart. Let me pull that up there. Log chart. Let's pull that into the play as we go. So we're going to pull up the log chart. At the moment, we're on the linear chart. This is good for short term. Just seeing the normalized structure. But for long-term patterns of trends, we need to use the log chart. And of course, we're going to check that out in a second. So here we are, folks. We ended, obviously, PulseX is the purple vertical line. We have passed that now. Now we're in the period where we should just trade somewhere in this sort of ballpark. And of course, we want to bust out of this annualized resistance here. So we've got to bust out of that. And of course, at the moment, we kind of did today, but that was kind of with the bot trade. And of course, maybe tomorrow we might do it. And of course, that would be about 16, 17 cents to bust out of that. And we can easily get a green candle in there and bust out of that and then just move forward. And that would give us just more probability that the price is going to go up now, because time is on our side as well to break out of that. And then, of course, we've got our big resistance line here, the solid line. And of course, that there is, around about 22 to 25 cents, somewhere in that ballpark, as we want to break out there as well. Now, obviously, it's also going to depend on a couple of things. I think we're going to get confidence from Pulsechain Testnet 3 coming, but we'll get to that timeline later. That's our second to last topic. Our third last topic is getting to the timeline, so we'll get to that. And then, of course, we will talk about that a bit more with the timeline, how that's going to impact the price there as well. So looking not too bad at the moment. We're in a sort of a okay space at this stage, but we could easily move into really good positive momentum there as well. Our next horizontal resistance is at 22 cents. So we do have to bust past that as well, but that would mean busting past this resistance line here as well. So that's where we want to get out of it, kind of this area here. Let's have a look at the DMI and see how we're getting on with there, how that's treating us. We're going to get rid of the lineup here. So we've got, this is good. This is good. Yay, this is good. So we've got the buyers here just coming up. This is the buyers direction. Bounced off huge with those two green candles. We're down at 9. We have jumped all the way up to 21. And the sellers, of course, were up at 37. They've come down towards 31 here. So we've got a gap of 11 points. And of course, this is a more convergence. We want this convergence. The other thing, of course, is that momentum. This is the seller's direction. This is the buyer's direction, and the momentum of that trend. Anything over 25, which is here, is pretty bullish for the trend. And of course, it's now starting to reverse. And of course, we want this to cross over. So if we pull back our structure here, we want this here to keep going up. That's what we like. We want the sellers here to keep going down. That's what we like. And of course, we want the momentum to somehow pick up. So if the momentum sort of dips down here, we want it to pick up here and get in this situation. We definitely want to have the momentum stay over 25, but this will swap around a bit once we get the crossover between sellers at the top here and the buyers as the buyers come up. So we'll keep watching this, but it is a nice little turn of events. But we need a few more days under the belt to see this play out. Cool. And let's have a look at the RSI. And the RSI is ticked back a little bit there, but we've got lots of room to be able to move up for a nice little bull run. We are expecting that too. We're going to talk about, when we get to the milestones, we'll talk about the catalysts. They're going to help us get there, the fundamental catalysts that will help us get there with the big bull market. We'll definitely look at that. So cool. Let's jump over to the log scale chart now. This is better for long-term trends, remember. And of course, if we just take off the log, this looks very much like the other chart we just showed. But the difference is this chart has the full price history, not just the other one shows back to May 21. This goes all the way back to the beginning of Hex, back to the 2nd of December 2019. And of course, we pull this chart up. You can see the all-time low price there, 5th of January 2020 at 4.056. That's what the price was, pretty badass. And of course, we've jumped up here. Now, the top and bottom here, of course, is based on the top and bottoms of the price chart there. You can see the bottoms touching there. And this is what's given us the structure that we've got for the channel. Obviously, we're in a super channel, right? A super hex pump channel. This is, what formed pretty much the greatest chart in crypto for much of 2020 and much of 2020, much of 2021. And of course, with obviously the recent pullback, we do have a period of 6 months, of course, where 6 months where we typically at least double in that time. Obviously, we're getting close to the end of that. We've got up to about the 20th of March until that is not true. So that is a pumpamental for a Pulsechain launching. If anything is having something like that, so that's pretty cool on that. But you can see that we bounced out here of the support level. And of course, this vertical line here is the PulseX sacrifice in. And of course, we've punched up here, bounced off the support. We certainly didn't want to break down. That would not be a great sign of breaking down this long-term log support. But we did bounce off at this stage. So hopefully we'll zigzag up here like this red, the screen arrow indicates that's where we want to go for sure. Now, obviously, that's going to depend on a few factors. The markets generally, the risk off, the markets generally, the Hart's law, and of course, fundamentals, the FA as well. And of course, that TA structure should form itself around that. So TA means technical analysis. just means that all of the different metrics that you can use to on the chart there, like averages and things like that. All right, so that's cool, looking good there. And let's jump over to the markets at the moment. We've obviously had a nice little recovery for Bitcoin and that, just a little pullback just in the last wee while. Of course, ETH just dropping back a little bit after a nice little jump back. Bitcoin there at 38.5 as well, just pulling off a little bit as well. And so that's pretty cool to see that. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We're in a nice little good range. I pretty much call it half bear. We want to stay at half bear markets at least, because we want to have people to have decent asset values. And of course, the income values have to be cool too. We want people to have economic stability, to have good incomes turning over, being able to work, all that sort of stuff, being able to save a little bit of that and invest in some of that, of course, and have the asset values, stocks, bonds, property, crypto, those key asset markets as well. We want those to stay inflated. So people have got lots of money to come and invest in Pulsechain and, of course, pump the bags as well. We want lots of that to happen. So I don't want the market to go too far back down, even though it helps with the X returns multiples on the way back up. I really would like to see a super good valued market, at least half bear, because this is a pretty good level. I think Bitcoin's holding up pretty well, given all that's going on at 38,500. This is pretty cool. We already had a double top, and now we're still holding up at this price level. This is kind of a bit, we're kind of lucky at this stage. Let's see if it holds up by the time Pulsechain launches. I really do hope we're at least in this sort of area, ballpark here. So cool. That's pretty much the price review, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Next topic is Hedron. We're going to get into that pretty shortly. So let's go through some of the chats here. Hopefully I'll be a bit more efficient at jumping through some of these. Little Richard says NFTs can have utility too. They're not all pieces of art. I absolutely agree with Little Richard. I am a big NFT thing. I like certain platforms. I like Phantasma Chain. I like a lot of projects that do some really cool stuff like that. They are super advanced, super great for GameFi projects, DeFi, awesome stuff. So I'm not in the art camp, only camp. That just doesn't exist. There is utility NFTs, and there are GIF NFTs. There are a lot of bad NFTs, and a lot of those will go to zero. Only the good ones, the good DeFi, the good GameFi ones will actually hold value, but they'll also be affected, as we know, by the whole market pulling down. But yeah, not in that camp there. So that's not me. Sandy Beach says we need more girls in crypto, in my humble opinion. Absolutely, is Sandy Beach. Well, I did notice that Crypto Heartbeat had a new content creator, Ashley, on the live stream there, the Saturday Night Live show. I just managed to watch a few minutes just towards the end before I started this channel. And of course, it was great to see Ashley on there. We want lots more female content creators in Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex. We have seen quite a few come on board. Sometimes they come and sometimes they go. But I encourage you out there, if that suits you, get out there, because it opens up a whole new market, and particularly on other platforms. Because obviously YouTube is actually quite male dominated. I can see it in the stats behind the scenes on the channels, and it's true for all the channels that I have. And of course, that's YouTube's not the main one for them. Maybe Instagram, other channels are more popular. So definitely get out there, start promoting on multiple platforms. Really is important. So nice point there, Sandy. Neil says speculation. Will we get an all-time high before the end of March? Well, this is the hope. If we launch Pulsechain, we probably will, Neil. That's the key. And of course, we're waiting for Pulsechain testnet 3 to come up. We're going to talk about all of those sort of details when we get up to the Pulsechain timeline. Don't want to sort of get ahead of myself there. Matt and Barley says, since you've got so many loyal followers here in the live and helping each other out, be nice to see a small intro and chat, like where people are from and so on. There's no doubt we all meet for. Absolutely, Matt. So that's a good idea. I'll try and bring that up into future formats for sure. Matt and Barley says celebration. Absolutely on that. Human Hex Trafficker says we need more girls in crypto. I'll twerk on it, says Human Hex. That's a cheeky, but we get your humor there. Twerk, says Hetsy Kajoon. Chris Corell Gal says, when is it going to launch? Any insights? Pulsechain, PulseX. Yeah, we're coming up to the timeline. This channel is kind of unique to having a Pulsechain timeline, so we'll come up to that chart in a second there, Chris. Appreciate the comment there. BJM says, if you buy Hedron token, do you have to leave it on DexGuru Hedron wallet, or can I send it somewhere? Just have it on your MetaMask wallet. You can just hold it in your wallet there, BJM. Just add the token contract. You can do that actually on Hedron. We're going to get to there next. It's the next topic, so we'll cover that. But basically, just have it in your address there. Fat Sammy says, geopolitical price drops are always great buying opportunities if you're bullish on something, says Fat Sammy. Yeah, good point. Got me some $12 Hex. I'm happy. $12 Hex. I'm not sure. Fat Sammy says 12 cents. Yeah, that's more like it, Fat Sammy. I was like, $12. I was like, what? Yeah, 12 cents. That's the one. Little Rich says Hex needs to bounce here. That work at the moment means that or support is now resistance. Come on, Hex. Absolutely, Little Rich. I agree with that. Matt and Barley says, by the way, that Elon Richard Hart tweet is on Elon Musk page. Go to third tweet down below 1 and 2 or 3 o'clock on that, and you'll see Richard Hart's tweet also. Maybe nothing, but looks funny that there is a hint there. Yeah, that's interesting there, Matt. I need to actually follow that through. I won't be doing today's live stream because we've got so much to talk about. We're already up to an hour. Can you believe it? So we'll try and follow up on that one, Matt. That's a good insight. Little Rich says we need some volume. Absolutely need some volume. And, of course, I think a lot of whales going to bring that volume at some stage. Fat Sammy says volume is coming. It might take a few weeks, though, says Fat Sammy. Absolutely. I think that's probably the time frame we're thinking of for the Hex volume and for markets generally. I stubbed. We do have the Fed Reserve coming out in March, but that's kind of been softened for the moment in terms of the rate rises, and it'll probably be a bit more tenuous with the Ukraine, I guess, conflict at the moment with Russia. Or Russia's conflict with the Ukraine, however you want to put it there. Smash the like, says Sandy Beach. Absolutely. Matt Barley's has got the emojis out in there. Nice one. Is that the Bintang Bears? It's got the old beers out there. Nice one with the Bintang. Big shout out to Matt and Barley. Smash that buzzer and subscribe. Yeah, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Let's get this channel up there and let's go. All right, so we're going to jump on to Hedron now. And, of course, I will leave a contents timestamp at the end of the video, as I always do, or most of the time I do. Occasionally I do forget. This is Hedron price. Now, there are now, I think, 3 trading pairs. There's this is Dex Screener. I'm going to post this in the chat because I don't know if I've put this in the video description. I need to update my video description, I think, because I'm covering so many topics now. This is Dex Screener. This is the Hedron price at the moment. You can follow along with me with that. Now, you can also use the search bar in the top left. You can actually find this is Uniswap version 2, Hedron and USDC on the Ethereum network. And, of course, there is also a version 3 pair now, but this version 2 was the first one up. Apparently, there is also Hex as well. So the third trading pair is Hex. So you got USDC on version 2 and 3, and then Hex as well on another one. But I haven't actually found the Hex pair yet. Haven't bothered to look, but I keep saying I'm going to look, but definitely is at the case. So here is the price of a Hedron, and man, it has moved around. This is obviously on the USDC pair version 2. It started off there, really good value. Really, I mean, 5 zeros. This is 0.503318 US cents per Hedron. And it started off there pretty well. Actually, it looks like bumped up to here, got up to 504863. That's really good value. That's worth, a sizable chunk of money if you'd sell up here. I was watching the market when it was going live here. And, of course, it zigzagged around here. It pretty much, let me just get rid of that. Make sure I've got all that. Let me just hide that one. Oh, that's fine. All right, so it actually got down to low as 6 zeros. 0.60785 was kind of the bottom down here, and now it's coming up here. So we haven't actually had that long. This is 15 minutes chart. Let me move to the hourly chart. It's probably a bit easier to see. There's the hourly chart. So you can see we haven't been that long. Let's go to the top here, see how far. So far, 1 day and 4 hours it's been live, Hedron price. That's not long at all. We've got liquidity here, 17,000. So that's actually climbed, obviously, with the price being lower. And, of course, we've got the market cap 7.7 million, it says here. It's probably a bit better than that if you include all the other pairs, but that's what it says on the market cap on Uniswap. And, of course, what else we got in there? It's got, obviously, the price has gone down. The price is actually doing pretty well. In my view, this is actually looking a lot better. Now, typically in crypto, we see this chart where we typically see the price up high, or it starts up high, and then it comes down like this on a day. There's a daily now. Remember, we're looking at, the hourly. We're looking at the hourly. Comes down here, and then it typically does a little rise, and then it mucks around, and then it'll do a nice big rally at some stage, another rally. So I'm expecting a big rally there at some stage as well. Now, the thing, of course, is that all the people with what they call hex stakes or native hex stakes that their stakes through go.hex.com, they're eligible to do a claim. In other words, claiming the bonus. At the moment, the bonus for the first 10 days is 10x times your Hedron. And, of course, that every 10 days that goes down by one factor of 1x. So, between day 11 and 20, it's going to be 9x. Between day 21, etc., it drops down to 8x, and every 10 days goes right down to 1x after 100 days. So it's basically incentivizing you to claim early on. And, of course, I don't expect the Origin account to claim. There's been some mentions of that. I don't expect that to happen. The Hex Godwell might claim. That's always a possibility. So we'll see whether that plays out. So what's going to be interesting to watch this overturn. It is experimental. And of course, this is only one feature, of course, is kind of like a quasi airdrop. You basically claim. The second feature, of course, if you claim, you can just do that step and you don't have to mint your tokens. And of course, you get tokens based on the amount of B shares you've got. So if you've got 1 T share, that's 1,000 B shares. And of course, you get paid out per day that you've served your stakes. So every individual stake is different. So take that into account. So a lot of people have been minting the tokens. We can see the price chart here. It's actually been performing pretty well in my view. Obviously, it's just come back here a little bit here to 50149. But I actually think that it's holding up pretty well at this stage. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. The volumes have dropped off here in the last sort of 8 to 10 hours. But it's going to be fascinating to watch this chart over the next few days. This could really take off. The price is so cheap, you could really make quite big extra returns. It's going to be interesting to see how many people buy more than sell their free minted coins. So people getting free minted coins, how many people are going to buy and accumulate big volumes. Obviously, if the price comes down, you might get people speculating and buying potentially billions of Hedron. Obviously, the liquidity is relatively small, so they can have big movements in price. So we've got $17,000 worth of liquidity there at the moment on this pair. This is just the version 2 Hedron pair. Obviously, you can search for the other ones up here as well for the version 2. So it's much bigger than that. The pooled Hedron in here is 5.5 billion Hedron, and there's $8,468 in here. So it's not a big pool, folks, but it is early days. We could see this growing over the next few weeks and months ahead. It is an experiment. It's going to be interesting to see this play out. Now, obviously, the claim and mint is just the one factor. It is the easy one. Now, it is a read only of your contract, of your stakes in your wallet. So it's not going to be, interacting with, approving spend or anything like that. And of course, it's going to read your address. So this is cool. This is how it's going. You can see all the trades down the bottom there. Very cool. Let's jump over to the Hedron site itself. This is the actual main site. And of course, this is where you're getting. So one of the things this has is wrapped stakes, wrapped hex things. So this is for new stakes. So if you're going to, not under the go.hex.com, but if you're want to do some new hex stakes, you can actually do them by wrapping them on Hedron here. So before we get into that, though, that's the second feature. You can also borrow as well. You can borrow Hedron against your future days that you haven't actually served in the Hex stake. You can borrow against those in the future. So there's a couple of features, but the main one that I like to talk about is, of course, the mint and the claim and mint, because that's free stuff, isn't it? We all like free stuff, so pretty cool. We scroll all the way down to the bottom here. You can see this is how it works here. The start on a native hex stake. You get your native stake, which is basically your hex stakes that you've done through go.hex.com. You can mint your Hedron. You get a bonus at the moment, a launch phase bonus for the first 100 days, 10x for the first day, 10 days, etc. Goes to 9x, etc. Every 10 days, goes down by 1x. Also, there's an advanced to mint ratio bonus. I don't expect this to happen for a long time. That's the idea of where people are borrowing so much more, 50% more than what's been minted, I understand, and that bonus. But some people are going to wait for that. I know that David Ferreira, who's going to be doing the public validator for Pulsechain, is going to be waiting for that. So waiting for that to happen. And of course, that's an extra bonus, right? So you can mint your tokens at that time. But in any case, if you want to get the launch phase bonus, you should at least claim your tokens, but you don't have to mint them. Once again, nothing on this channel is investment advice. This is infotainment. You must do your research to make sure you are comfortable with interacting with any contract. So just take that into account. But it is, a read only, so you can double check those facts there. All right, cool. Obviously, you receive the Hedron tokens. You can put them in your wallet, your MetaMask wallet. You just add the tokens to your MetaMask wallet. You can see those. Now, at the bottom, there is an estimate. So if you've got 1 T share, that is 1 B share. So you can put the 1,000 in there. 1 T share is 1,000 B shares. And of course, you can say, let's say that you had one stake of a thousand B shares or 1 T share. You had that stake for, say, let's say, I don't know, let's say 1,800 days, 1,830 days. What's that? 5 years, I think. And of course, you had served, let's say, 730 days, which I think is 2 years. Then that means you got 3 years to go. You do your sacrifice in the first 10 days, you're going to get 10x. Your second, if you did it in the next 10 days after that, it's going to be 9x. Obviously, we're in day 2 now, so you're still on the 10x page. You can hit calculate. That means you're going to get how much? Means you're going to get 8 million Hedron. 8 million Hedron for this stake of 1 T share. So cool. If you had obviously 10 T shares, that's going to be 10,000. B shares, and of course you can calculate that. That's going to jump all the way from 8 million up to 80 million. So you go from 8 million to 80 million. So one T share is about 8 million based on this. Obviously, the amount of days served is the key. You get paid out Hedron for that. You can multiple claim in the future. Obviously, if you have more days served in the future, you're going to be earning Hedron on that every day. So you can claim again in the future, whatever remaining days that you serve. Less the stuff you've already been paid out, of course. That's pretty much how that works. So cool. So that is basically the way it works. That's the process, how it works. There are other features, of course. There's borrowing advancing, which is locked at the moment. Okay. There's tokenized HSI. This is basically making new stakes, which we call wrap stakes. And they can be tradable as NFTs or non-fungible tokens. So that happens as well. So these are all locked at the moment. And of course, this is the one that's open minted Hedron. And of course, it's kind of like an airdrop, quasi used for that. Cool. All right. So if you want to get access to that, you hit the DApp, of course. The DApp will open to this page. And then you can basically connect your wallet with the MetaMask or Wallet Connect. And of course, you can add the Hedron token to your MetaMask just by clicking this. It will auto add it for you. That's just like adding a contract for a token. Pretty easy done, and so forth. Once you've done that, it will show your stakes below for that particular wallet that you have, and it will actually show your claimable Hedron that you can claim at the moment. So I have not got a wallet open here, but I have got the test wallet open. So the numbers will be a bit different. So you can see I'm here on Pulsechain testnet. You will get a copy of your Ethereum Hedron, I understand it, on Pulsechain. And of course, you got the stake here. It will be native. You can mint that, of course. This stake's got 244 B shares, which is just under a quarter of a T share. It's got 2 days served. You guys saw me do this yesterday. Once it had 1 day served, it's got 2 days served. It's got the multiplier here is 7, but this is just the testnet. Your multiplier at the moment is 10, so you're getting 10 times what you otherwise would get. And of course, you can see for 1 day here, based on the 244 B shares, I can claim a 1958 Hedron here. So it's cool. Now, obviously, there's fees on the Ethereum blockchain. At the moment, the fees have been very cheap, haven't they, comparably? At the moment, the Gwei is 32. So this might cost you somewhere like $9 to $12, somewhere in that ballpark, to first claim. That's your first thing you have to do. Then the second thing you have to actually mint it if you decide to mint it. So that might cost you, maybe around $20 or so, give or take. At the moment, 32 Gwei is a pretty good price, right? If you did it, obviously, if it was 100 Gwei, that might jump from $20 to claim and mint up to, say, $80 or $100 or something like that. So now is a pretty good time to do that as well. So cool. Let us have a look at on here. So this is what you do. All you have to do is you'll have an action button here. And of course, you just have to click on that, click claim. And then, of course, once you've processed that to your MetaMask wallet, costs you maybe $10. You can then mint them. Once you mint them, of course, if you've added the Hedron token to your MetaMask, it will show up in your MetaMask with the Hedron. This won't work for the testnet that I'm using, but this is just to give you an idea of what they look like once you've connected your wallet. Once you've connected your wallet up here, your stakes and your wallet will show up here. It is read only, but once again, go check that out. I suggest if you want to look at a very good video with the best breakdown, apart from Alex, who's the developer of this project and a Hex OG, is to look at David Ferreira on YouTube. He's done a wonderful video on the launch, and he goes through all the details. He's been through all the contracts, through the audits, and he's knows it upside down. So definitely check out David Ferreira's video. It's about an hour or so long, so it's a good. Let's get a coffee, sit back and relax and watch that video. But he's very well informed, and of course he is going to be running a public validator on the Pulsechain. I think on behalf of the Discourse Syndicate team. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that is the case. So that there, folks, is Hedron. It's kind of like a free airdrop. And once again, you don't have to use some of the other features on there. They are locked for the time being. There is a new UI coming out at the moment. You can also engage with this contract on the Ethereum blockchain by using Web3 directly rather than using the Hedron at DApp. You can do that, but you need to know what you're doing in terms of getting your stake IDs out and things like that. So just take that into account. So cool. That is the Hedron, folks. I think that's pretty cool. And it's an experiment. We'll see how it goes. I watched Richard's video on encapsulated stakes. I think he had changed his mind about it and thought, well, if it serves a purpose, that might work. A lot of other people, of course, have criticized by the fact that the ethos of Hex is staking long, delayed gratification, and feel that this may, hamper that because it gives people able to, trade out stakes. But really, I think it's perfectly good. Looks good to me. And I think it'll take up, a certain amount of people will use it. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. but nothing's going to take away from for Hex, especially when Pulsechain launches. It's going to be absolutely crazy good for Hex. So I'm not too worried about this at all. I actually think it's kind of a generally good thing, and it will probably end up being on the whole net benefit on the whole as well. Cool. It certainly added up another market. My original concerns were around the ETH fees, that if the ETH fees were so high initially, people talk, especially for if you're doing new stakes and you're wrapping those, you're taking on extra issues there. So just be careful around that. I haven't covered that, and I will probably cover it in small detail, but really I'm just talking about the claim and mint, because that's obviously free stuff. You know me, I love the free stuff, so that's probably the best way to go, right? So there we are. All right, so once again, make sure you do investment due diligence as well, and I hope you've enjoyed this coverage here. Pretty cool as well. All right, nice one. That's good. All right, so let us jump over to the chat there and see how everything's going on. We've got Maria in here, says, I'm a girl watching with Matt live from Ahmed Bali. We got a Hexy shirt. That's Matt and Bali. I love it. Hey, Maria, good to see you. We got a Hexy shirt coming so we can get the word out. A nice one, Maria. Love it. And very cool. Maria says, smash the like button. Absolutely smash the like button. A big shout out to Matt and Maria and Bali. Prana in the house. I love using deckscreener.com. Yeah, it's really cool, Prana. I really like it too. And it's now it's got woo. I made it. Yes, you've made it. That's very cool. Francesca says hello, and it's now it's got the in the house as well. Looks like there's solid consolidation on the Hedron chart as much as an hourly chart can be. Yeah, I think so too. It has surprised me actually. It's performing pretty well, and it's going to be interesting to watch the next couple of days and weeks ahead as this goes. But I think that there'll be a certain market for this for sure. Charity says, where do we go to claim Hedron? Now, I've got the link for Hedron in the video description. If you want to get that, it is the link is hedron.pro. Hedron.pro. If you want to check that out. But make sure you watch a few videos. Check out David Ferreira's video just to make sure that you've done a bit of investment due diligence there as well. But otherwise, it's cool. It is read only, as I say, for the claim function. Obviously, the other functions are not out yet, and they are more involved. They're not about your existing Hex stake, so just take that into account as well. Prana says, I think there's a link in the video description. There is indeed. Charity says, thanks all. I'm on the phone, so I can't see the Hedron URL, says Charity. It's definitely in the video description. BRGM says, can you buy and stake Hedron, or do you have to stake Hex T-shares? So for the HCSI stakes coming up, it will be Hex. It's kind of like a jar, as David describes it. You put the Hex inside the jar, it's wrapped up, and you can trade that as an NFT if you want. So it's coming up there. Cool. BGMs, do you have to hold Hex in order to free claim Hedron? Yes, you have to have Hex stakes. There, it's really Hedron's the claim and mint for Hex is really to reward Hex stakers. If you think of it like that, it's kind of like that airdrop. Crypto Cliff says, I'm not sure the name you said. Look into Hedron. Who has the best video? David Ferreira. I'm not sure if I've got that pulled up, so I'll try and post that link there later. I'll put the link in the video description after the live stream of David Ferreira's video. Human Hex Traffic says gas lows fees low. Yeah, they're so low at the moment on relatively speaking, 32 Gwei on Ethereum. So it is the best time to do stuff like that if you are going to claim for Hedron. Fat Sam. So that could be, depending on how many Hex T-shares you got, could be a lot of money. Just make sure that you've got the price of Hedron times the amount of Hedron that you'll get is more than the cost of the fees of doing it. So if it costs you about $20 for the claim and mint on a stake, you got to make sure that the value of your Hedron is going to be worth more than that if you're going to mint and sell them straight away. Otherwise, you can just claim it and then mint them later on when the price goes up into the moon. Price Hedron might really climb if a lot of people accumulate it. So it's all unknown. It is an experiment for sure. Sandy says, notes David Ferreira has a great video too. Absolutely, Sandy. That's who I'm talking about. Snowdo says, I was late. Sorry, I covered it already, but what was the difference between claim and mint? So claim is locking in the bonuses, which is 10x at the moment for the first 10 days. And of course, minting is actually minting the tokens where they actually come to your wallet and you actually basically have the tokens in your wallet. Otherwise, claim is just locking in the benefit at the moment, which is 10x times normal. It's going to be day 11 to 20 is 9x, day 21 to 30 is 8x, etc. Over the first 100 days is the launch bonus. That's the key there. It's on the homepage, so check that out. Francia says, hello. Hey, Francia, good to see you in the chat. And I always look forward to your comments there. Martin Barley says, sent you a message from Twitter. Hey, Matt, appreciate that. It's probably around the Elon Musk, so that'll be good. And Richard Hart. Mick Video says, good afternoon. So many tokens to keep an eye on. Yeah, so this is on this channel, we won't be talking about all the tokens. There's so many projects. We'll be very selective in what we talk about, and hopefully that they're all going to fit very well and be strong. So for being invested in, so we won't be talking about everything. I know that some channels are going to be covering all sorts of out there projects. We're not going to be doing it on this channel. Obviously, we're covering Pulsechain, PulseX, Hex, and any project that fits really strongly in that, and that I don't think is going to have a better long-term value. It's kind of it there. So cool. All right, so let's jump over to Pulsechain. Whee! Pulsechain, we're here. All right, Pulsechain. All right, so here we are, folks. This is what Richard Hart is building. Of course, we've got Pulsechain, the network. We've got PulseX, Uniswap, the exchange. And, of course, we've got the incentive token. Nice. And, of course, we've got Pulse, which is going to be used instead of Ethereum. It's going to be used. Pulse is going to be for the fees. We've got PRC20s, which are basically copies of ERC20s. And we've got Hex, which is on Pulsechain, which is a copy of Hex on Ethereum. So we've got a couple of cool features here. Obviously, it's going to be super fast, super cheap, and at minimum 4 times faster than Ethereum with 3-second blocks. And of course, we've also potentially that could be up to 200 times faster. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see that play out. And of course, the other thing is it's going to be the biggest airdrop in crypto history. So everybody that's over on Ethereum will get all the ERC20s plus NFT contracts. All those ones copied over, everything copied over. And of course, it's going to be drop here. So it's huge, right? People are going to get all these free tokens. It's going to be amazing. Of course, with the PulseX, we're going to have the AMM bot as well run, and that's going to price everything up. And of course, print money out of nothing. It's going to be amazing. And of course, it is the first time that's ever been done. A full system state copy of Ethereum getting copied over and being superior, super fast, and super cheap. It's going to be amazing. Superior tokenomics. With the sacrifices, the total amount of tokens are coming out at the beginning. And of course, with the buy and burns, it's going to be decreasing. That's the only place you're going to find this on the planet. This is it. This is the main game. If anything was going to be the Ethereum killer, this is it, because this is better on every single way, except for the fact that it has to have process of time to take the economic energy from Ethereum and put it into Pulsechain. But all the incentives are there for it to happen. So pretty exciting there. So that's what we've got. We've got Hex, of course, with the best savings product. We've got the exchange, best exchange with the best incentives, got the biggest yield farm in crypto history. You got the biggest airdrop in crypto history. Go together. That's magic. And of course, all the tokens are going to go down over time. It's going to be amazing. The other thing, of course, is why I've got liquid loans here, because I think it is such a good fit that people will never have to sell their Pulse if they don't want to. They can put it on here. They can get USDL tokens, and they can go buy more Pulse, buy more Hex, buy more PulseX in addition to that. So we've got the magical buy and burn for PulseX. We've got the fee burn for Pulse, and then of course on top of this we've got liquid loans there with the ability to people to lend at 0% interest against their own asset. They don't have to sell their Pulse. They can go buy more Pulse, more PulseX, more Hex. So congratulations, it's awesome, right? It's absolutely amazing. So obviously when a bridge opens, so you're going to be about 48 hours for people to swap. If you came in for the PulseX sacrifice, you want to pick up a bit more Pulse, because you missed out on a PulseX sacrifice back in July, August last year, and then you can come in and do that. And of course, swap the ratios. You have to be careful about the ratios, because that first day or two, I always suggest not doing anything, just holding your bags. Hey, but it's up to you what you want to do. Then after the day or two, of course, the bridge will open up. And of course, we've gone from having the super fast, super cheap, biggest airdrop in crypto history, biggest yield farm in crypto history, to now having the fastest way to mass adoption in crypto history. It's insane in the membrane. You've got all these things working together, and it's all dropping at once pretty much. So it's going to be fascinating. And then the bridge one day or two after. And of course, people are going to flood over from Ethereum. They've got the ERC20s. They're going to get all their copies on PRC20s. The AMM bot's going to value those up. And of course, people are going to come over. And of course, with the bridge, it's going to come over stable coins. So we're going to get US dollar values. It's going to be interesting to see what the US dollar copies on Pulsechain do. It's an unknown. It's the one unknown that's probably going to be the most interesting to see what the stable coins on Pulsechain get copied over to. But in any case, the stable coins from Ethereum will come over and we'll get some US dollar values. It's going to be amazing with the liquidity pools. It's going to be super, super cool. And of course, the potential for hundreds of thousands of yield farmers and potentially low millions of people to come over from Ethereum. I think it's something like 3 or 4 million people to potentially come over and get their free PRC20s. It's mind-blowing. I keep putting my hands up because I'm just like amazed at how awesome this is going to be. And of course, a lot of the market's going to be taken off guard by this, particularly the conventional media and stuff like that. They'll have no clue what's about to happen to them, right? It is really, really cool. Such a left field thing. So that's happening. Of course, we've got the Fiat Gateway coming as well. Richard talked about that, and that's coming. And of course, we don't know the exact timing about that, but that's very important too, because that means that instead of going 7 or 8 steps out across the bridge to take your profits out, maybe to pay for some bills or buy a house or whatever, take it out this way, might be 7 or 8 steps. Instead, you can go to the Fiat Gateway, maybe 1 or 2 steps out this way. So it's really great to have that. Of course, money going out, but also easy for fiat to come into the Pulsechain system. Man, oh man, can you see it? So you got the yellow here. This is all money coming into a closed system. So a day or two, this will be closed. Then when the yellow opens the bridge in the Fiat Gateway, it opens up to the rest of the world. It's going to be mad, mad awesome. And of course, a month later, liquid loans will come into the play as well. And super pumped. So we already had awesomeness for the first 4 weeks. Then liquid loans coming in, where people are able to leverage into it based on their own asset at 0% interest. Going to be crazy. Obviously, there's a little bit of fee in there. That's how the platform works. Has a little bit of fees in there, 0.5% up to 5%. So there is that little thing to take into account as we go. The other thing, of course, it's not just Ethereum that's going to come over. It's going to be a lot of the other chains. You name the chains out there, they'll be coming over. The yield farmers will be rushing in here. Will be Phantom, Atrium, all of them. All be coming. Everyone's coming. And if you've been in yield farming, as I have, and many other views in the chat there, you know that these guys are coming. It's going to be the biggest, liquidity, and everyone's going to be jumping in there for the incentives. Amazing stuff. So looking really cool there. All right, so that is a bit of a summary of what Richard Hart's building. This 2022 is the year of infrastructure for Richard. And of course, this is not the end of the roadmap, though. This is the main platform. On top of this, of course, many other things are coming. Some things will be done by Richard. Some things will be done by other people, like the Kinetics team and other projects out there, third-party solutions. So this is just the main game. On top of this, there's going to be tons of projects, and we must be careful not to get too afraid of some of them. We must call out bad projects, and we must call out good projects. It's pretty much like that. We have to identify that. And of course, many of us have had many years in crypto experience, and we can call them out pretty quickly. So just take that into account. So nice one there. And you must always do your investment due diligence, but this is what's happening. And this could be very much the Ethereum killer as well. So going to be fascinating to see that in the first 6 to 12 months, how that goes. It's going to be pretty awesome. And of course, many years down the track, it's going to be absolutely epic. All right, so we know that ETH 2.0, of course, is always delayed. We know that Vitalik's got like a 6-year roadmap, and of course, sharding and all that sort of stuff just taking longer and longer and longer. And of course, we just don't know how much benefit that's going to be at this stage, especially during high congestion. And of course, we see high congestion coming from Uniswaps, from NFTs, from the growing markets, GameFi, of course, and DeFi products going on there as well. And you can lump in the metaverses if you want to rename things like that coming in there. So there's lots of stuff happening in that space. All right, let's go down to the Pulsechain timeline. Of course, this is what was asked for. The timeline. Let's grab a drink because it's the way we go. Hey, we're up to 1 hour and 27 minutes. Man, I'm blasting. Normally I do 1 hour and 20, but like Crypto Heartbeat, we're going for a lot longer. Crypto Heartbeat double timed. He went from 1 hour to 2 hours. We're also going long until we get through this awesome stuff. It really is cool. So this is the Pulsechain timeline exclusive to this channel. Woohoo! And of course, we have been going really well. Now, we've got some big news today. This first yellow line here is Pulsechain Testnet 1. And of course, this ran for 77 days. Can you believe it? And let me just pull that up. Actually, I'm going to pull that on my side. You can't see this is just a copy of the real thing. But let's go here. So we had the Pulsechain Testnet started on the let me get rid of this. I got the and it started on the 1st of October, and it ran all the way through to the 15th of December. So Pulsechain Testnet ran all the way through from the 1st of October through to the 15th of December. It overlapped Pulsechain Testnet 2, and of course that's that first yellow line. Pulsechain Testnet 2 is the second yellow line here that I'm showing you on here. And let me just get rid of my comment there so you can see this full screen. And of course, this is Pulsechain Testnet 2. This is just now hit 77 days too. So both Pulsechain Testnet 1 and Pulsechain Testnet 2 are both at 77 days long. That's really interesting. Now, is that a little indication about Pulsechain testnet 3? And of course, we know that on Pulsechain testnet 2, the validator testing has been going super well. We know that we've got 28 validators being operating on the rotation on the Pulsechain testnet 2 at the moment. And of course, we've covered that many times on this channel. We've also got the fact that we've got this MVP or minimum viable product. This is what Richard wanted to launch at least. This is also working really well. And we got the final piece to the puzzle yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, one of the two. And that was awesome. So we've got go.hex. That's working really well. We've covered that on this channel. Uniswap front end, done. We've done that too on this channel. We had the bridge. Of course, we've done that on this channel too. We've got ticks for all this. And of course, today we've got the ticks for PulseX because we've seen the interfaces for those. And of course, they'll be rehashed a bit more. There's a bit more time for those. But that has been ticked off as well. So looking really good for the MVP. We are going forward really well. So this bodes good confidence. And of course, software takes time. We already know that, we started the sacrifice at 15th of July. Of course, it was many months before that when Pulsechain was announced by Richard. It's going to be pretty cool. And of course, we're going through here 77 days. So both of the chain 1 and 2, both 77 days, pretty crazy. Now, we've had ticks, of course. We've had the Expo conference ticked off. We just finished the PulseX as well, sacrifice. That's ticked off as well. We've had Daytona 5 ticked off. We've got lots of ticks of ticking off on the roadmaps, looking really good. We've also had the Twitter room spaces with the Peter Schiff debate ticked off, looking solid. So we're doing really well. And of course, here we are on Pulsechain testnet 2 and 3 in yellow. When does this end? When does this start? Must be pretty soon, in my opinion. Must be very soon. And of course, I've got it running for 2 weeks. Richard said it was going to be short. What are we expecting on it? Of course, we're expecting the AMM bot to run. And of course, we know that's been tested in private servers. And of course, we're expecting the PulseX incentive token to be on there as well. And we have seen snapshots of that too. So we've got 2 devs working on that one. That's pretty fascinating. Above there, of course, we've got the Fiat on-ramp. That's also there. We haven't heard much about that for a little while, but we did back in the day as well. So that's been moving forward. So Pulsechain testnet 3, that's the big one. And of course, let's say it runs 2 weeks. That seems okay at the shortest, if that's short. And of course, we're waiting for, that's probably going to be the next thing is the Pulsechain testnet 3 for the momentum, the confidence. And of course, that's good for the for Hex and Pulsechain and stuff like that. So cool. We've also got this coming up after that is potentially a snapshot block for Pulsechain testnet 3. Richard did indicate that there would be a new block for that testnet, but we're waiting for the mainnet test block, right? So the one that you're going to get the biggest airdrop in crypto history. So when all the ERC20s get copied as PRC20s, this is the biggest airdrop in crypto history. This is the block height that we're wanting. This is really if depending on the way Richard signals it, because obviously it's got to be sensitive around the liquidity bot. You don't want people pulling liquidity out when our M-bot runs, but we've got to be careful about that. So it's going to be fascinating to see how all that play out because Richard will gamify that, and he's good at doing that stuff, right? So it's going to be all happen very quickly, and the market's going to go insane when it does happen. So cool on that. So we're waiting for the snapshot block. That would be a big fundamental, and of course mainnet. These are the 2 big things. But the snapshot block, it's going to be interesting to see how that is messaged by Richard. But these are the things that will really make that price run up to the right. So we're waiting for this, right? We're waiting for this big movement in the price. We're waiting, obviously, that's the 2 catalysts for that are the block height and, of course, for mainnet and mainnet itself. Those are going to be relevant. But we expect, of course, people to move earlier than that. And, of course, I think Pulsechain testnet 3 could be the catalyst. Could be a catalyst, but not 100%. That's kind of a momentum for me, a positive momentum that the chart will start moving up. But to get real movement, we probably need something like the block height or so. So we'll see how the market reacts to that. The whales may just front run it. Maybe testnet 3 is good enough for the whales, and the whales say, hey, we're going. Before the retailers get on, we're going to make the retail pay more. We're going to get lots of volume at cheaper prices. Maybe that's the way they might look at it. If they're looking to accumulate more, that is. Obviously, we've got the Hex scale, of course. They're trying to get their PPA in place. So that's very important. And, of course, they could be behind the ball at this stage. So at the moment, they'd be liking these prices. The Hex scale, this Kinetics team, getting on that, they'll be liking this at the moment. So we can see that they're already launched their Mountain Crypto Advisors, but the Hex Investment Trust need their PPA. That's kind of their investment disclosure. And, of course, that's to the private trust. They also want to get this on public, so possibly listing on NASDAQ. We've also got another private investment vehicle that's also working in the background that Richard mentioned on the 10th of January. And, of course, they're doing their thing. So we could see people buying Hex and then staking at 5555. And, of course, that will be after the Hex God Whale that's staked already. So you know that those entities in 15 years' time will own control a lot of the T-shares, the Hex Goldwell and Hex Scale Trust in the future. It's going to be fascinating to see that play out. All right, so we've got all that going, folks. That is what we're waiting for. Yeah, so the AMM bot run, the PulseX incentive DAO, and of course we have seen snapshots of that. And of course we've got the written balances for the sacrifice that people have done. So lots of stuff. We're getting into the Goldilocks zone here, folks. Time is ticking. And of course, I've got here at the moment on the timeline, the mainnet and PulseX launching at the same time. And the earliest date I've got at the moment is the 24th of March. The 24th of March. That's the earliest date at this stage. Now, whether that flows into April sometime, that could happen. Of course, software is challenging, and it is the AMM bot, of course, code and all that sort of stuff can have issues. So they've got it, and also the amount of dexes they can harvest is also a big deal. So that's pretty cool on that. So that pretty much is it, folks, for the Pulse chain, and of course PulseX, as well as a lot of the other stuff that's coming on. We are waiting for Hex Scale to come. I'm sure they're pretty close, as Wells only said they're really on that final tick. And of course, they can then start accepting big money and start buying Hex 555. They're going to want to get in at the right time. They have lucky the market's played out for them because they could have been way behind the time if they're not ready to launch before Pulsechain. They don't want to launch the Hex Scale Trust after Pulsechain because they'll simply put a fact they'll be paying a lot more to get the Hex. And of course, they won't get the copy on the Pulsechain. So it's going to be pretty interesting there as well. The other two things, of course, is that we've got these are little incident sides. We've got Hexpo conference coming up in Las Vegas on the, was it the 3rd to 6th of March there? 3rd to 6th? Yeah, I think it's 3rd to 6th of March. And of course, let me just double check that on my calendar there. 3rd to 6th, yeah, 6th of March, somewhere like that. So we've got that coming up, 3rd to 6th, I think it is. You know, 6th or 9th, I can't remember now. You know, that's coming up here. We can see that. The first one was online. That was cool back in January. Now we've got the one in March coming in Vegas. At the same time, we've got the next car race for the Hex-sponsored car in Las Vegas, 5th of March. And then we've got the Talladega race as well on the 24th of April. So we're not, even though Daytona had finished, we've still got 2 more races. This is really positive. And, of course, we can see this on Rack and Rochelle's publication here. The 2 cars here. So we've got the X Infinity series. We've got the Cup series as well. So March the 5th, this is the same time as the Hexpo's on. 600 people and will be in Las Vegas for Expo Conference number 2. And, of course, it's going to be mad. That's awesome. And, of course, they're going to have this race car drive as well. And apparently it's quite reasonably cheap to get into. So looking good for that and looking for this. So more branding and bigger crowds too. I think Talladega's bigger. I think one of these two, I think it's Talladega. They're pretty big crowds as well. 120,000 or something. It's pretty massive. So it should be really cool. And of course, Las Vegas will be the same time as the Hexpo conference. Over 600 mad, crazy Hexkin, Pulsekins in there as well. Going to enjoy that. Man, it's going to be great. Some great footage online. Can't wait to see that for sure. All right, cool. So that is the timeline there, folks. We've got a few more things going out before. So that blue line there is the highest of stakes documentary. That is moving and accelerating. That's pretty cool. We've got this little green star out here. This is potentially a big conference to no-coiners or traditional finance, and that's expecting that from the Kinetics team. That's further out here. I've just got it out here in April because we don't know much about it, so it's kind of no-named at this stage, but that's coming up too. That would be really big for big money to come into the space, so looking forward to that. I hope that it launches while the market's still doing very well. We want the market to stay up here in this half-bear position. We've got, Bitcoin at 38,000. We want to stay up there in this range because that means people have got a lot more asset value. We don't want to go down to 11,000 with a full correction. We don't want that. That's just not great. So we definitely want the big money to come in. We want the value of the chain to be worth a lot, or Pulse chain to be worth a lot. We need good value prices, at half bear at least, is the case there. So cool. So that, folks, is the end of the timeline there. And nice one. That was the latest updates. I hope you guys enjoyed that for sure. And of course, we've got a final topic. Final topic's coming up. PulseX. It's coming. It's coming. And this is awesome. I'm enjoying it. Hope you guys are. And very, very cool. Let's get into the chat there. I'm miles behind. I didn't even know where I was on the chat here. So I do apologize for not keeping up to date as much as I should. Let's have a look here. We're going to jump to Mix in the house. A good afternoon. So many tokens. Keep on. I think I got up to that one. We've got Fat Sammy in there. Woo-hoo-hoo! And we've got George. Take how much was sacrificed so far? Are you talking about for liquid loans? We'll do an update of that, actually. Let's do an update. 21 million. 21.5 million US dollars sacrificed so far. Hopefully that one answers that. Looking good. And yeah, we'll just leave it on these ones. That's where we finished off there. We got the Fat Sammy with the emojis there, looking good as well. And let me jump back to the YouTube channel so I can see everything. We've got Craig Whaling with the emojis, looking good. So if you are not a channel member, hit the join button. You can become a Pulsechain, Hexkin, and a Richard Heart Club member, one of those three. And of course, you get cool emojis in the chat there. Definitely go for that. And we're going to have some other benefits there for members too coming up, so it's going to be good. Sandy Beach is in the house, says, hey, Craig. We've got good stuff there. Let me go. It's now, it says, anyone have a link for how to add Hedron to MetaMask? So Hedron to MetaMask is pretty easy. You just have to click the button here. That's the link there. It will add it on for you. Just hit that button there on the head. Go to Hedron DApp and then hit add Hedron. It will add Hedron to your MetaMask. That's pretty easy there. Charity Dunn says, like, spread the news, says Charity. Absolutely. Fat Sam says, anybody selling any spacesuits so I can breathe on the moon? I think you're going to need some. I would go to Tesla. Was it Tesla? No, SpaceX. They got the latest ones there. They're not tethered. They don't have their own life support system like the space station does, but they do look pretty cool. And I'm no doubt those are going to get better and better over time as well. Cool. What else we got there? Yeah, Craig says Hedron site. There's a button you can click. Yep. Greg says freeloaders smash the likes. Says Greg, hey, nice one. Smash those likes, absolutely. And Craig says Grey 21. No way, Grey 21. Really? Let's get out of there. Grey, it's 21. It is. Oh man, so cheap. So you can claim your Hedron at the moment. So cheap, 21. If you're doing a Hex unstakes or staking, you can do 21 Grey. This is super cheap. Wow, what a brilliant delivery at the moment. Get it while the congestion's on the lower end, I guess, is the case. I know that Vitalik changed something in the system there on Ethereum to try and get lower fees. I need to get into more of that too. Vinex says, yep, it's on the Hedron DApp. Charity says, so Hedron is not doing a sack. They are airdropping the existing stack. That's correct. There's no sacrifice for Hedron. It's basically like an airdrop. You claim and mint. You don't have to mint straight away, of course. You can speculate on the price. We don't know. It's an experiment. We'll see where it goes. And, of course, the other features that are coming down the line when they unlocked in the HSI and the lending. We'll see how that goes. ETH Killer says, I'm here to kill. He says, ETH Killer, you are indeed. That's hilarious. I like how you change your name. I get lost of actually who you are when you keep changing it, but it's pretty funny. I stubbed my crypto. That's a really good name. Who's pumped? Yeah, me too. I'm pumped. And Rip ETH. Yeah, absolutely. So nice. We've got the emojis there with the woohoo's. Also, look here, we've jumped through some of this stuff. BGM says, can't find Hedron on CoinMarketCap when I search for it. I'm not sure if it's listed on there, BJM. It might be something that's coming up later. It's now says, woohoo, I got all my Hedron minted just now at low grade. Well done. It's now. Congratulations to you. And Sandy Beach says, yeah, I did it too. Hey, well done to you all. Well done. I just claimed most and minted some too. Yeah, I had a couple of small ones. I didn't bother minting those. I just minted some of the bigger ones there. But yeah, just you got to make it economic, right? So you just leave it there. You get this claim, and of course you get the benefits. And of course, if the price could do amazing stuff. Who knows what can happen to the price? But certainly, it's worth a bit of money at the moment. Now, Craig says it was like $10 per stake. Let's have a look. It's not on CoinMarketCap. Check out Nomics yet. It's on Nomics. So if you go to Nomics, let's do that. We'll go to Nomics. Some good points here going on here. We go Hedron. I think Hedron's there. So it's got Hedron there. It's also got version 2. It has got Hedron out. So Nomics has updated everything now. I'm pretty sure the feed is, hopefully the feed's up to date. When they first launched, the Nomics feed wasn't start straight away or something. But it looks like they've got the 3 markets now. They've got the Uniswap version 2, version 3, and version 2. Now, this is what I was using on Dex Streamer that I posted in the channel there. So that's really cool. It's got maybe possibly more there. So that's cool. It's got the contract there. Let's go to the main one there. We can see the total volume. So total volume, wow, $874,000 in 24 hours, folks. It's been traded. That's pretty impressive. Straight out of the gate there. That's pretty impressive. Market cap unknown. It says rank 272. It's got some unknown stats there at the moment. It's got the price there, Hedron USD. I'm not sure what pair that is, but that's pretty cool. So there, a lot more details there. That's on Nomics. If you want to check out Nomics, not on CoinMarketCap possibly, but certainly on Nomics already. So cool. And of course, Hedron. Let's go to the actual Hedron Hex pair because I haven't actually looked at. I'm not even sure if this is right. This pair, it's got volume 30,000. Yeah, I know that it does obviously on Uniswap it can peer through to Hex, but that's the case there. So cool. Nice little insight there, folks. Before we get on to the final one, let us jump through. Says Craig says, guess I don't know the difference between claiming and minting yet. Yeah, claiming is just getting the bonus, securing the bonuses, which is 10x is the launch bonus, and minting is actually getting the tokens into your wallet. With that includes the 10x bonus. So you can claim now. You don't have to mint. If you claim now, you'll get the bonuses, but you can mint the tokens whenever you like. Just saves you some gas fees, I guess. Claiming just locks in your bonus. Absolutely, Sandy. Go to Hedron page, click the MetaMask. Yep. And what else we got there? Let's jump in here. Craig Wadding's got lots of more emojis in the house. I like that. And let's jump through some of these. Extravagance in there. Hello again, friends. 8 Extravagance. Good to see you in the house. And Hedron 50113. Yeah. So I might get, it's almost, Hedron's almost at a price point where I actually might start speculating on it myself to pick up some bags. Where can I mint Hedra at? Buy Mintra at? Yeah, I'm not sure about, we're not covering Mintra on this channel, but you can get there. What's your question again? Where can I buy Mintra? I'm not sure where you can buy it because I'm actually not covering it on this channel. But you can get access to it from this link. Where you go back to how hexpulse.info. You can jump back to the sacrifices there. It's got all the sacrifices on at the moment. I'm just covering liquid loans. I just finished covering PulseX, as you guys know. And of course, I covered Pulsechain, I believe, but on a different channel. And now on Mintra, of course, this is one here, Mintra.io. Let's have a quick look at how they're getting on there. This is the NFT platform. I think this is the Gerardo one. And of course, the $1.3 million so far, 4,972 wallets for this. 3 days and 10 hours till the bonding curve goes up. This is the Mintra one. The top wallet there, $100,000 sacrificed. That's going on there, mate. So this is the Mintra one. You can see that there as well. So that's got a different one there, but I am not really covering that one. So that's the first time I actually looked at it on here. So cool. Mintra NFT marketplace. I imagine if you jump onto that page, it must have the actual site there. Here is the actual sacrifice site for this one. As I said, they got the airdrop or something mint there. Not sure if that's not launched yet. So that, yeah, Mintra's not launched, I don't think. So it's not going to launch until at the end, the launch phase of Pulsechain. That will be worth noting. So let me go here. Yeah, it won't be launching yet. This is the sacrifice page, though. You can get to that through the, as I say, through that how Pulse. You can find that stuff there. Cool. All right, cool. I wasn't expecting to do that. Let's go back to there. Liquid lines. Cool. All right, so we're almost up to PulseX, folks. We're almost up to there. Let us get into that. Charity says, when do bonuses end? In 100 days, but they go down 1x per 10 days. So it's going to be 10x and so forth. So let's go to Hedron. I'm not sure which project you're talking about now, Charity, to be honest. But if you're talking about Hedron, the bonuses go down every 10 days. So if you go to the homepage on Hedron, you go scroll down to the very bottom. You can see the estimator here. There's an estimator. You can see it's going to go to 9x, 8x, 7x, 6x, and then down to 1x. This is over 100 days. So every 10 days goes down lower there. Cool. So for the first 100 days of Hedron launch, there will be a launch phase bonus. That's basically what it is. That's what your claim is locking in, the bonus. You don't have to mint the tokens. You can do that later. Bonus starts at 10x multiplier, decreasing 1x by 10 days of the phase. There's also an advanced mint. So cool. Hopefully that's what you're asking about, is the Hedron one. And Sandy says Mintra is not launched yet. They are doing sacrifice now. Yeah, Mintra.io. Absolutely, Sandy. Well said. And thanks, Jimbo Sticks. Likewise. Yeah, cool. All right, so that was pretty much it. Let's get into the final topic. Before we do that, I think it's actually starting to rain here. It's supposed to be summer, and it's raining here too. Not just in Bali, Matt and Maria. It's raining here. All right, final topic. We're up to an hour and 48 minutes. We're doing well. Here we are, PulseX. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. So PulseX, this is we're going to just reread the fees here. So we've got the fees trading dirt cheap. PulseX will have a fee of 0.29%. So 0.29% that fee that users pay on every swap. So we were just reading this to get the background. That is less than SushiSwap, Trader Joe, QuickSwap, and Uniswap. Now, of this 0.729% fee, 76% of the trading fees will be distributed to the liquidity providers. And of this 0.29% fee, 21% could be used to buy and burn PLX. So when we take 21% of 29%, we get 0.06% of the fee. So 0.06 fee will be used for buy and burn. All right, so that 21% of 29 is 0.06%, reducing the supply over time. So that was the idea, reducing the supply over time. 0.01% of the trade's value goes to an address you must have no expectations of. All right, so no expectations of. So who knows? Who knows what that is, right? So that is the fee. So we're just recapping that. Now we're going to jump over to Richard Art's a tweet that he gave out yesterday, I think it was, or the day before. Is it yesterday? 26th. What day is it today? 27th. Yeah, so yesterday. So we're going to jump into that. So here is the stake here. This came up. So he's done 2 tweets. He did one around about getting the incentive token. That was a few weeks back, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, about getting an incentive token. And of course, now he posted this with the staking. And of course, if you look at this, this is quite interesting. So this is a PLSX buyback pool. Now, this was not expected. This is different to post as to staking PLX for the incentive token. Now, he does say this. He says, screenshots my devs have sent me. I have not reviewed them yet, which is kind of an unusual line there because you're posting stuff that you haven't, if you haven't reviewed, then it's kind of, you could have lots of weird errors on there that could give mixed messages. So it's kind of weird, that part. Anyway, so you stake your PLSX. Of course, you get that through the PulseX sacrifice. That was finished now. And of course, then you get a token called XPLX, right? And this is what it says here. Stake your PLX and receive XPLSX. Now, we know that 0.06% is going to be used for the magical buy and burn. But here we got staking by holding the XPLX. You are participating in the PLX buyback, right? Which are using 0.07% of the trading fee. So this fee here by itself, remember we had 0.06. So that was 21% of 0.29% is 0.06. I think it's 03, something like that. Percent. So that's what that is. But this is saying 0.07. I just wondered whether that's an error or whether some other fee, something that I'm missing out of that. That's what it's got there at the moment, which is using 0.07%. I would have thought that would have been 0.06% of trading fees to buy back PLSX and send them to this pool. So we're also expecting that we would have a buy and burn to reduce supply over time. So this is sort of indicating that to buy back PLX and send them back to this pool. So that's kind of buying the PLX and then putting it into this pool as a reward. Doing so increases the PLSX ratio, meaning you will be able to claim back increasingly more PLX for every XPLX token you are holding. So it's really quite interesting to see this. So I didn't expect to see this. So let me know your thoughts in the chat, what you think of this one. Obviously, there's an example of a transaction going through on this and so forth. So it brought more questions to me than answers as well. So cool. And this is different from the farms, of course. This is staking. This is the staking, not the farms. The farms is different. The farms is if you've got liquidity provider tokens. In other words, you've provided stuff for the pool, a liquidity pool for trading. But you take your LP tokens, they're kind of your ownership tokens. They also have a price at a particular time that you put them in there, representing the tokens you put in, and then you can put them in the LP stuff here and then farm them, and no doubt get the incentive token as a reward, right? Because obviously the total PulseX is at the beginning. The only way you'd be able to do that is through this other one here. So I thought this was fascinating. I did go through Richard Hart's comments to see whether he gave anything else about this, but he hadn't. So it's going to be interesting to see this play out. This was not expected, and of course this here, if it's going back to people in the pool, it's kind of interesting because this doesn't reduce the supply over time. So it's a little bit confusing from my point of view. Let me know in the chat what you guys think about that. Charity says, yes, it was. Thank you. ETH Killer says, Pulsechain and PulseX of ourselves, not on CMC, but when is this type of PulseX on Nomics, it comes up. And Francis says, woohoo! ETH Killer says, Pulse and PulseX not on C. I think I read that one. Tim says, sounds like Boo and XBoo on Spooky Swap. It does sound a bit like that. Boo and XBoo, isn't that a Trayvon saying there, Tim? Trayvon saying with the Boo and XBoo. XNana says, how to claim a mint Hedron in Staker app. I don't know. I think you can do that, but I'm not sure it's now. on that one. There may be a pinned post on Telegram for Hedron, but not sure though. Yeah, that's probably the best way to go, as Sandy said. Good suggestion there, Sandy. You might have to get in the Telegram group and see if there's a pin note on that. They probably have answered that question for sure. Matt Highgate says, me and my friends have been speculating when PulseX can reach $1. I've come to the conclusion won't be happening within 24 months. It will happen, says Matt Hedron. Highgate. Yeah, so that's a pretty high price. $1 is a pretty high price. So it will be. I don't see it happening in 24 months either, but definitely we'll be trying to target at this stage, targeting 1 cent or 4 cents, somewhere like that is probably the case. Now, I know originally people were talking about some well-known content creators were talking about 20 cents and things like that, but I definitely think our first target's going to be, a fraction of a penny, maybe 0.001, something like that. It's going to be interesting to play that up. Screenshot that. Now, the thing is that the price is going to be much higher than, in my view, very quickly, it's going to be much higher than the sacrifice rates on the most part, because when we have this bridge open up, here, potentially hundreds of thousands, not millions of people will be flooding over, and of course being able to buy will be after the Pulse and the PulseX here. So everybody that's been sacrificed for these, they're having the total supply. When this bridge opens up, it's going to be mad crazy. Everyone's going to want your tokens. They're going to want my tokens. That's just going to way it's going to be. And of course, the price is going to go up and to the right for that. And that doesn't include the magical buy and burn, obviously, on top of that. So it's going to be mad crazy for the price. We're going to see unbelievable prices for, I believe. We've got the best fundamentals ever. So the prices are going to be very, very high for sure. $1 is very high though, but I do believe it's going to be very high for sure. Eventually it will get there, I'm sure. It's going to be interesting, the time frame there, BGM. Good comment though. Good comment. All right, cool. That is it. So I found this really interesting. This is kind of a bit left field, this here. So it's going to be interesting to see whether Richard says something more on this. And I don't really want to speculate too much further than that at this stage, because we were expecting something way back here. I'm not sure if I can go back there in time, but we were expecting, obviously staking PLX for the incentive token, but actually for the buy and burn pool, that was not expected. So that was really interesting to see how that plays out in time. Craig says, not sure how I feel about spending ETH even at low gwei to get a few dollars of Hedron. I know the idea is that if it moons later, it will be worth a lot, but still. Well, that's the thing, Craig. You can obviously mint it later on. That's the one thing. And as I say, it depends on how many B shares or T shares you've got, whether that's economic, if you're going to look at trading it now for a profit, as many people have done. So that's a good point. So you do have to do that. That's why I reiterated the fact that it's going to cost you about, at 30 gwei, probably cost you about $10 for the claim. That locks in the bonus, $10 for the minting of the token. That's probably another $10 at 30 gwei. And then, of course, that's $20. So you want to make sure that you've got more Hedron at the current price of Hedron than the cost that you're putting into it. So your revenue from the Hedron airdrop, if you're selling it now, obviously you can just do the claim, not mint, and then speculate. And if the price goes up 100x, then you're laughing yourself all the way to Bali and having a holiday. Other than that, that's where it's at the moment. So prices at quadruple 0.5154. This is actually holding up pretty nicely at this stage. It's early days. Like I say, it's only in the second day. We'll see how it gets on over the next few weeks. But you might actually find people accumulate this at these prices. We could see a lot of buying coming in. I wouldn't be surprised, even though we've got tons of Hex stakers to mint. There's so many stakers. What was it, 80,000 stakers, 5 stakes on average each. And of course, not all of those will be viable, but many of them could be. Many of them could be minting. It's going to be interesting to see how many mint. I think yesterday there was something like Actually, I'm not sure how many total have mint. It's going to be interesting to see stats on that. I'm not sure if Hedron's actually produced stats on that either, but it's definitely in play. We have got social media. Let's go to Twitter. Let's have a quick look at there. We've got a couple of minutes, 2 minutes to go, folks, before we're going to finish the live stream. 2 hours. This is I think my second biggest live stream of all time. But we had so much to talk about. It is crazy to talk about all this stuff right now. Yeah, 4,100 followers on Hedron. There's a couple of comments here as well. Current Hedron does not support CB wallet. So it's got a few things in there as well. Have questions about claiming versus minting. There's a nice little graphic there. So it's got claimers, users are claiming the launch phase bonus 1 to 10x for the entire length of the native stake. So any future minting against the stake will have the launch phase bonus applied. Mint users mint available Hedron for the native stake or their HSI stake for that matter, users have a mint against a native stake during the launch phase. First 100 days will automatically claim the launch phase bonus of the entire length of the native stakes, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. Some good stuff there. Actually, I'm not logged in, so I've got to be careful about how far I go. So definitely check out some of the Twitter stuff there. They've probably got some updates there. If you're using Staker app, I guess that's the case, but check out Staker app too. They may have an answer for that one as well. Craig says, woohoo, Barley. Okay, it's got it. Thanks, is Craig. You're welcome. Jimbo says, does anyone know if the Sense Foundation sacrifice is available to see anywhere like Hex Post? So you could probably go to Pulsechain sacrifice for that. I think the links are in my old videos, so maybe check that out. You probably have to follow the links there. I'm not actually sure on that one, though. Mixed Video says, I claimed yesterday. Does that repeat on Pulsechain? I understanding that there is going to be a copy that it will be copied over, that you'll get another airdrop on Pulsechain, I understand. The Mick. Yes, Mick says, Sandy. Yeah, that's right. So Sandy agrees with me, so it's good. Sandy is such an asset to the community. Big shout out to Sandy there. Very, very cool. Hey, so it's 2 hours, folks. Time to finish. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Hope you enjoyed today's content. We covered so much with liquid loans, Hedron, Hex Price, Pulsechain, PulseX timeline, PulseX staking, the buy and burn pool. I mean, crazy. What the heck? And, of course, much, much more. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Feel free to catch me tomorrow, of course. We are changing the formats on this show. Slowly and surely, I'll be getting into the new format. It's going to be really good. And I do appreciate everybody for watching and commenting. This community is rocking. This is the quiet before the storm. This thing is about to get lit in here when Pulsechain launches. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Very, very cool. All right, so Craig says, hits the like before the stream ends. Jimbo says, got a flooding here is a Bris Vegas over and out. Absolutely. And Mick says, cheers. Thank you so much, says Sandy. You're most welcome. Woo-hoo-hoo. Let us go. Thanks for watching. Let me post this out. I haven't got a poll today, so I don't have to close that out either. So I'll post that. If you're a Hex Token channel member, let's smash out the end of this live stream with emojis in the chat. You know how we like to roll. We're going to post some of those in there. Get in there, folks, as we exit. And we've got the woo-hoo in the house. All right. Take care, folks. Have a good Sunday. And, of course, I'm about to have dinner, so it's going to be fun for me. And I'll catch you in the next one. Very, very cool. Thanks for watching. We've got all the emojis going in there for sure. Very, very cool. All right, let's end. 2 hours and 1 minute. That's second longest live stream for sure. All right, bye for now. Take care.